I have a city in the desert. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126, Brother Feng's Defeat. In the stairs, the young man knelt down in front of Jiang Chen and begged him pitifully. This was the first time he knelt down to a poor person. Oh no, to a farmer. It's no use begging me. Jiang Chen was about to leave, and soon Brother Feng and others from upstairs came down. Seeing that the young man didn't hold Jiang Chen back, they hurried over to stop Jiang Chen and begged, "Brother, oh no, boss, don't bother with us. The investment meeting has already started. You should go up and participate. Li Sheng will also come to speak when it ends. That's right, we were all looking down on you just now. I apologize to you, please forgive us." After they finished speaking, Guan Ku looked at them and saw that they were really sincere and they really needed this opportunity. So Guan Ku looked at Jiang Chen and said, "Boss Jiang, how about?" I said, "If they don't kneel down and beg me, I won't take a step back. Today, I can't invest in this investment, but I have to protect the dignity of the poor. But some people's jobs." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people looked at Jiang Chen. They hesitated for a moment. Yes, Jiang Chen could not invest in this fund, but if they got the reputation of driving the wealthy Jiang Chen away, who would dare to come to Xin province in the future? Moreover, they were just ordinary employees. How could Governor Li not fire them if they looked down on the people like this? A group of people knelt down. People have to pay something for their arrogance, otherwise how can they remember the lesson in the future? A group of people knelt down, but Brother Feng did not kneel down. Seeing this, Jiang Chen turned around and left. Since some people did not learn their lesson, what was he doing here? Seeing Jiang Chen was about to leave, a group of people hurriedly begged Brother Feng, "Brother Feng, kneel down quickly, otherwise if the leaders know that we drove away foreign businessmen, it would be strange if they didn't fire us. Moreover, now is the time to advocate diligence and work for the people. If they drive away the businessmen who invested at this stall, and they are guests personally invited by the governor, even God can't save them." Moreover, Jiang Chen said that, as long as they kneel down, he will let them go. This kneeling is worth it. Kneel down if you want. My Li family is also a well-known family in Wuxi. How can I? There were footsteps on the third floor. A man in his 40s in a suit was sweating profusely with a briefcase in his hand and walked towards the stairs. As soon as he reached the third floor stairs, a group of people blocked his way. Seeing that man coming, several people hurriedly got up from the ground. "What are you guys doing here instead of entertaining guests properly?" The man looked unhappy when he saw several young officials from the Merchants Bureau hiding in the stairs and slacking off. After the document man finished speaking, he suddenly recognized Jiang Chen in the crowd. When he saw Jiang Chen, he hurriedly stretched out his hand to shake hands with Jiang Chen. Boss Jiang, the meeting has just started, why don't you go up?" Jiang Chen also recognized him instantly. Yes, he was the secretary who followed Li Sheng. It was him who asked someone to give him the invitation yesterday. After the secretary finished speaking, Jiang Chen sighed and said, "I can't get in." "What invitation did you give me?" "People just told us to get out after seeing it." "Forget it, I won't say anything more. I'm going to Beijing to invest. Goodbye." Jiang Chen was about to leave after he finished speaking. The secretary was anxious when he saw it. Yes, Jiang Chen had bought the big enterprise Dalianhua yesterday, and the governor had specifically instructed that Dalianhua must be settled in the new province. Now that they were going to invest somewhere else, how could the secretary be willing? "Boss Jiang, who didn't let you in? Don't leave, I'll deal with it for you right away." After the secretary finished speaking, several young men were so scared that their legs went limp. That's right, now even if they wanted to beg for mercy, forget it, they are from a big family, you can't touch them, and then it will affect the relationship between you and their big family. Jiang Chen sighed and broke away from the crowd and walked towards the second floor. As soon as Jiang Chen left, the secretary's face turned green with anger. If the person personally instructed by Governor Lee left in front of him, with Governor Lee's vigorous and decisive personality, how could he feel good? What's going on? What big family? Which big family? The secretary was so angry that he roared directly at the stairs. Li Feng was so scared when he saw the secretary that his courage was broken. That's right, he could only pretend in front of a few younger brothers, but who was this person in front of him? This was the governor's secretary. Yes, it's Li Feng. Li Feng said that he is a farmer and wanted to come and to beg, so. Oh, the Li family of Lee's hot pot. Great, a big family, okay, you wait. The secretary made a phone call after she answered. After the call was connected, the secretary shouted into the phone, check Lee's hot pot for me. Check the fire protection, sanitation, and food aspects. After the secretary finished speaking, Li Feng was so scared that he burst into tears. That's right, their family was proud that he joined the China Merchants Group, and now he was going to kill their Li family. Secretary Wang, I was wrong, I will beg him to come back. Please have mercy on me, please have mercy on me. Li Feng knelt down in front of Secretary Wang while speaking. Secretary Wang didn't care about him at all. He made another phone call, and soon a man came downstairs. Secretary Wang pointed at him and shouted, are these your men? Yes, yes, yes. Secretary Wang, I'm sorry, they, can't you find a few sensible people to register at the door? Do you know who they drove away? After Secretary Wang finished scolding, the deputy director also panicked. He pointed at a few people and shouted, you idiots, you want to kill me, you are all fired. I tell you, if there are any consequences later, none of you can escape. After the deputy director finished speaking, a few people gasped, and they all froze in place. Yes, they had a chance to make amends just now, but now, it was all Li Feng's fault. It was all his fault for pretending to be cool. If he didn't pretend to be cool, would they have been fired? Do you know how much they paid to get into the merchants group? After being fired, they will have nothing to do with civil servants for the rest of their lives. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. You ruined me. I'll beat you to death. After the young man finished speaking, he held back the tears in his eyes and rushed towards Li Feng with his fists. Yes, he was the poorest among them. His family sold everything they had to support him to finish college. He finally made it through, but now he was fired again. How could he have the face to go back to that poor home? How could he face his parents at home? After Li Feng was hit hard several times, he collapsed to the ground with a plop. Yes, his mind was blank at this moment. He never thought that his whole family would be ruined just because he looked down on a farmer. He regretted it now, but what's the use of regretting? Hurry up and chase after the governor's guest. Several people went to beat Li Feng, and the secretary was in no mood to care. After he shouted to the deputy director of investment promotion, the two hurriedly ran to the first floor. When they ran to the lobby on the first floor, Jiang Chen was about to check out and leave. Seeing this, the secretary hurried over and grabbed Jiang Chen's arm and said apologetically, I'm sorry, Mr. Jiang. Please give me face. No, give Li Sheng face. How about we go upstairs and sit down? Chapter 127 Special Investment Promotion Conference. The secretary looked so sincere that Jiang Chen couldn't bear to refuse. After all, those who laughed at him had brought it upon themselves. So, what do you think? Jiang Chen turned his head and looked at Guan Kubik. At this moment, Jiang Chen wanted to give Guan Ku a chance to show his face. After all, Jiang Chen was going to train Guan Ku to take over China's business. He had to farm in the desert every day, and it was impossible for him to deal with the Chinese government every day. Me. Mr. Jiang, you should come. No, I said, from now on all my assets in China will be managed by Manager Guan, including these investments, so you make the decision. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the secretary saw this. He hurriedly shook Guan Ku's hand and said, Manager Guan, please give me a favor today and stay. This is my business card. If you have any questions in the future, please call me at any time. After the secretary finished speaking, Guan Ku thought about it. He knew that this was how it was in the local area. The more friends you have, the more paths you can take. If the secretary stays in their big company, the secretary will make a contribution. Similarly, if they climb up the big tree of the secretary, their business in the new province will be much smoother. This is called a win-win situation. So he reached out and took Secretary Wang's business card. Thank you, Secretary Wang. We will rely on you in the new province from now on. After saying this, Guan Ku bowed to Secretary Wang. Seeing that the two people gave him such face, Secretary Wang smiled and nodded, patted Guan Ku's shoulder and said, okay, when your group settles in the new province in the future, I will definitely arrange someone to take good care of you. After the secretary finished speaking, the deputy director of investment promotion hurriedly asked a few people to go to the 4th floor. Jiang Chen then followed them back to the investment negotiation meeting. When they passed by the stairs on the 3rd floor, the people who had just humiliated Jiang Chen had left, but the young man was still standing at the stairs waiting for Jiang Chen. When the young man saw Jiang Chen and the others coming back, he knelt down in front of Jiang Chen in a panic. He kowtowed to Jiang Chen and begged, "Boss Jiang, please plead for me. My hometown is in the mountains. My parents are over 70 years old. If they knew I was fired, they would definitely not survive. Please, let me work like a slave for you, as long as you can." The young man cried so hard that his nose was running. Jiang Chen thought about it carefully. Although this young man was in the same group as these people, he said the least and was the first to come out and ask for forgiveness. Besides, he was from a poor family and was young. Since he was able to be admitted to the China Merchants Group, he must be capable. Therefore, young man, can you give him a chance? Or, Secretary Wang, this young man is not a bad person at heart. He can realize his mistakes and correct them. He seems to be a filial son. Filial people can't be that bad. Otherwise, give him a chance. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Secretary Wang nodded hurriedly and said, okay, Director Liu, you make the arrangements. This young comrade must remember the kindness of Boss Jiang in the future, and also remember the lesson this time. Since you want to be an official and a public servant, you must serve the people. Also, this people refers to all Chinese people, regardless of rich or poor, noble or humble, understand? After Secretary Wang finished speaking, the young man saw that Jiang Chen had pleaded for him, and he was moved and kowtowed to Jiang Chen again. Jiang Chen reached out and helped him up and said, "A man's knees are made of gold. Get up. I hope you remember the lesson today. I think you will be a good public servant in the future." Yes, I will." After the young man finished speaking, he knocked his head hard on the ground and burst into tears. After several people walked towards the hall, the young man did not get up for a long time. This lesson really inspired him. Of course, Jiang Chen's words of encouragement also made the young man's future. At the investment promotion conference, several people had already changed in the room. After Jiang Chen entered, they hurriedly bowed to Jiang Chen and his friends. After entering the room was still very lively. The tables of various cities and enterprises were full of people. They held red wine, tasting wine and chatting. When they were satisfied, both parties would put down their glasses and take out the contract to sign. This was the first time Jiang Chen had seen such a special investment promotion conference. Jiang Chen walked into the investment promotion conference hall. Secretary Wang hurriedly took Jiang Chen to a 40-year-old man in a suit. When the man saw the secretary coming, he hurriedly greeted Secretary Wang. "Hello, Secretary Wang. When will Governor Li arrive?" The middle-aged man spoke with some arrogance. After all, he was in a high position. Although he was only the mayor of the provincial capital, he was about to be promoted to the ranks of provincial party committee members, so he naturally had his capital to be rebellious. Secretary Wang walked quickly to the middle-aged man, bowed slightly and said, "Mayor Fang, Governor Li can only come when the meeting is over. By the way, Mayor Fang, let me introduce you to someone. This young man is called Jiang Chen. He is planning to invest in Xin province. How about you two have a chat?" After Secretary Wang finished speaking, Mayor Fang looked at Jiang Chen and felt a little unhappy. Yes, this guy looked familiar. Wasn't he the young man who tried to sneak in just now? What, is he Secretary Wang's relative? However, no matter whose relative he is, this is an investment promotion conference. He will not give face to others casually, even Secretary Wang. Come on, Jiang Chen, let me introduce you. This is Mayor Fang of Wuxi. Wuxi is an international metropolis. You must have a good chat. After the secretary finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Jiang Chen also found that Mayor Fang was the one who drove him away just now, but he didn't say anything because he wanted to give Secretary Wang some face. Okay, Secretary Wang, you go ahead and we'll chat first. Jiang Chen finished speaking. Secretary Wang nodded and said okay. After introducing the people, Secretary Wang walked quickly out of the exhibition hall. Yes, there were several meetings in the province today. The 4th floor was holding an investment promotion meeting, and the 5th floor was holding a desert management meeting. He had to go up quickly to deliver documents to Li Sheng. Before Secretary Wang left, he did not forget to tell Mayor Fang. Mayor Fang must keep Jiang Chen in Urumqi. Mayor Fang nodded. After Secretary Wang left, Mayor Fang looked at Jiang Chen and said, you two go ahead, I have a few multi-million-dollar companies to talk to, we'll talk later. After Mayor Fang finished speaking, Guan Ku hurriedly said, Mayor Fang, we are from Sahara shop. Can we talk first? Sahara shop? What kind of company is this? Does it sell steamed buns? How come I have never heard of it? Needless to say, this must be a small company owned by Secretary Wang's relative. Alas, Secretary Wang, it seems I have to stay away from him in the future. Thinking of this, Mayor Fang looked at Guan Ku, shook his head and said, I'm sorry, I'm really busy now. I'll let my secretary talk to you later. Hello. Mr. Mao, hello. I heard that you are planning to invest in a chemical plant in the new province. It just so happens that we have a particularly good piece of land in our new district. How about it? Do you want to take a look? Chapter 128, Genius goes to the desert to invest. As Mayor Fang was speaking in the hall, he walked towards an old man with a Mediterranean appearance. When the old man saw Mayor Fang, he also walked towards him with a smile on his face. Mediterranean came up and shook Mayor Fang's hand and said, ah, it's Mayor Fang. What an honor. I was just looking for you just now, but you came here in person. To be honest, Mayor Fang, several of our chemical companies that moved from the coast this time want to settle in Urumqi. After Mediterranean finished speaking, Mayor Fang nodded and said, Mr. Mao, if you come to the new province to invest, you should come to our Urumqi. How much is Mr. Mao going to invest this time? 100 million must be no less, right? Oh, Mayor Fang said, this time I came with a big project. Now the mainland has begun to rectify chemical companies, so our companies are all moving their headquarters westward. The project I brought this time is an investment starting at least 1 billion. After Mr. Mao finished speaking, Mayor Fang excitedly shook his hand and said, then you have come to the right place. I can't guarantee anything else, but at least all the chemical plants in our Urumqi can accommodate you properly. In addition, our Urumqi has cheap human capital. You are definitely profitable if you come. Mayor Fang and General Manager Mao were chatting happily. Guan Ku wanted to talk, but couldn't get a word in. He couldn't help but feel disappointed. He didn't understand why Mayor Fang would give up a 10 billion enterprise and choose a 10 billion polluting enterprise. He couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure it out. Jiang Chen saw Mayor Fang's eyes like this, and he couldn't help but shake his head in disappointment and said, forget it, Guan Ku, let's go somewhere else. The two of them walked around the negotiation meeting. The capital of the new province is Urumqi. In addition to Urumqi, the largest city is Kala City. The two of them walked to the Kala City booth. The staff looked at the two of them and said, I'm sorry, we don't accept agricultural product enterprises here. After the staff member finished speaking, another person who looked like a leader also hurriedly added, it's not that we don't accept agricultural product enterprises, but our city is now mainly engaged in some industries related to petrochemicals, so why don't you go somewhere else? The leader said it very sincerely. Jiang Chen thought about it. Indeed, Kala City mainly produces oil, and the enterprises they recruited must also be related to petrochemicals. After leaving the carrot booth, Jiang Chen walked towards a booth next to him. When the booth leader heard that Jiang Chen was engaged in agricultural products, he shook his head and said, I'm sorry, ours in province is on the edge of the desert. The yellow sand is so severe now that we can't grow anything in the land. so the higher-ups don't allow us to grant land to agricultural product companies, so Jiang Chen visited several exhibition areas in a row, but was rejected by most of them. These people either rejected him directly because they saw that he was dressed a little old-fashioned, or rejected Jiang Chen because they didn't want to waste land on agricultural products. After walking around, Jiang Chen felt a little tired. He walked to a table in the corner and sat down. The table was very quiet. Several staff members were almost asleep. The few who were not asleep also climbed on the table and watched their boss holding a glass of wine and wandering around the investment meeting. Jiang Chen followed their gaze and saw a young man in his 30s, wearing a light blue suit that was a little too big and a little ill-fitting. The suit had a strong square mark, and it seemed that he rarely wore it. The young man had a dark skin, was not fat, and had short hair. It can be seen that he was not a person who often sat in the office. "Hello, boss. I'm Guo Kemming, the county magistrate of Mojiang. This is my business card. Our county is preparing to build a new development zone with preferential policies and 10 years of tax exemption. In addition, I'm sorry, our company is not suitable for your development zone. Hello, Boss Zhang. I'm Guo Kemming, the county magistrate of Mojiang. Our county is preparing to build a new development zone with 10 years of tax exemption. In addition, we are preparing to build a road to Fangjin Airport. May I ask, Mojiang, wasn't it swallowed up by the desert? No, a small part of it was swallowed up, but the county seat was not swallowed up. Our development zone. I won't go. We are a company with an annual output value of 1 million. Do you think we will invest in the desert?" After Boss Zhang finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo looked a little ugly, but then he took his business card and walked towards other people. Soon, a quarrel was heard in the distance. Several staff members at the table stood up instantly. Jiang Chen looked in the direction of the quarrel and found that the CEO of a company in front of the platform in Urumqi was arguing with County Magistrate Guo. "What's wrong with you? Can't you see I'm busy? Why do you keep handing me business cards? Do you know how much money I invested in this company? It started with tens of millions. Don't you understand? You're from a shabby county town and you want to pull me in? Why are you trying to get close to me, you country bumpkin?" The man who was arguing with County Magistrate Guo was a fat man in a flowered suit. He had a huge beer belly, as if he was pregnant. Compared with him, the thin County Magistrate Guo looked a little frail. I'm sorry, our development zone. What are you developing? Mojiang will be swallowed up by the desert in less than 2 years. Do you want to hurt me?" The man with a beer belly was very angry. Mayor Fang, who was toasting with others in the distance, came over in a hurry. When Beer Belly saw Mayor Fang coming, he suddenly changed his face and flattered Mayor Fang. Mayor Fang, I plan to invest in a textile factory. What do you think?" "Okay, you report to the staff." After Mayor Fang finished speaking, Beer Belly ran to fill in the materials with a look of surprise. After Beer Belly left, County Magistrate Guo said embarrassedly, "Thank you. What are you thanking me for? Didn't I tell you? You Mojiang should not participate in the exhibition. You are embarrassing our new province. Do you know?" I know. Mayor Fang is teaching me a lesson. Mayor Fang, I also want to. What are you thinking about? Let's go quickly. The companies that come to invest today are all large coastal companies. Don't scare them. Mayor Fang had a stern look on his face, while County Magistrate Guo had a gloomy face and bent over to apologize. A big boss came from a distance, and Mayor Fang hurriedly went to greet him. County Magistrate Guo then walked towards his exhibition table in a dejected manner. When he walked to the exhibition table, an old man in his 50s sighed and said, "County Magistrate Guo, please don't be busy. If our county can't do it, don't go out and embarrass yourself. That's right, let's take a rest here, and when it's over, we'll go back directly." County Magistrate Guo, don't struggle, just accept your fate. You said you ran all over Beijing and Shanghai for several months, but didn't we attract a single enterprise to our county? After several people finished speaking, as soon as they said they had to accept their fate, County Magistrate Guo slammed his fist on the table and said, "Why should I accept my fate? Let me tell you, I came to Mojiang to build it up. Now that enterprises in the east are moving westward, if we don't seize this opportunity, Mojiang will never be able to turn over in its lifetime. Why should we turn over? I think we are doing well now. Even bastards want to turn over. Are you worse than bastards? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129 Super Investor. County Magistrate Guo was about to hand out his business card. Jiang Chen looked at him and was touched by the young man's unyielding spirit. County Magistrate Guo, how many companies have you attracted? Haha, why is it so quiet in front of your desk? Just as County Magistrate Guo was about to leave, a man with a slicked back hair and a green tie came towards him with a glass of wine. It was none other than County Magistrate Guo's mortal enemy, Old Kyan. What does it have to do with you, whether it's quiet or not? County Magistrate Guo was about to leave when the guy reached out and grabbed County Magistrate Guo's arm and said, "Don't be in a hurry to leave. Come on, we finally meet each other. Let's have a drink." Haha, I heard that you spent a lot of money to go to Shanghai and didn't attract a single company. How did you do it? Can you share with us? After the green collar man finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo's face became even uglier. That's right, County Magistrate Guo, please share it with us. Haha, to be honest, I've been a county magistrate for so many years, but I've never seen anyone as young and promising as County Magistrate Guo. By the way, did your county's annual report in the first half of the year rank last again? In my opinion, don't struggle. Wait until Mojiang is swallowed up by the desert and you come to be my deputy. How about I'll let you serve as the director of the Investment Promotion Bureau? After the green collar man finished speaking, a few more people came up behind him. Although the suits they wore were very old, they fit them well. It can be seen that they, like County Magistrate Guo, are small leaders from poor places. After a few people finished speaking, the director of the Investment Promotion Bureau behind County Magistrate Guo stood up and shouted, "What do you mean? Hey, young comrade, do you have the right to speak here?" After the green collar man finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo held his breath and said, "County Magistrate Kyan, don't go too far. I can't get investment. How good can you be? Don't talk about me. Let me tell you, I'm really better than you. Have you heard about the Meng Group? The Meng Group, together with Shangjing Film and Television and Wolf Group, is about to invest hundreds of millions in a desert scenic spot in Arteng County. Do you know what a scenic spot worth hundreds of millions means?" After County Magistrate Kyan finished speaking, a bald County Magistrate behind him hurriedly complimented him. "County Magistrate Kyan is still the best. Once this desert scenic spot is built, when tourists from the mainland come, the economy of your county will definitely take off. That's right, I think you will be ranked first among the counties under our Yi city next year. It's just a pity for our small counties. What are you afraid of? Don't you have County Magistrate Guo to support you?" Hahaha, it's true. With Leo Guo here, we are not afraid of being the last. After several people finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo's face turned blue and purple. Seeing that County Magistrate Guo was embarrassed, several leaders of Mojiang not only refused to help County Magistrate Guo, but also mocked him coldly. "I told you not to come, but you insisted on coming." Now, Mojiang has lost all its face because of County Magistrate Guo. That's right, we are all old people. Can't we just wait until retirement? You insisted on torturing us, and now you are embarrassing us. Jiang Chen finally experienced the feeling of being isolated and helpless, and the County Magistrate Guo in front of him was him. "Hello, County Magistrate Guo. I'm the boss of Sahara shop. I want to invest here. Do you have any discounts?" Jiang Chen decided to give this young man a chance. After all, he is his neighbor. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo turned around and saw that it was a handsome boy. He was also a little disappointed. After all, Jiang Chen was only 19 years old at this time. Although he had lived independently since he was a child and was used to the coldness and the law of the jungle in society, his heart was no longer as old as his peers, but his appearance was there. Yes, there are preferential measures. Come, let's talk at the table. Although County Magistrate Guo was a little disappointed, this was the first investor to greet him, so he instantly became passionate. Boss Jiang, look, this is our Mojiang County. Our Mojiang County has a long history. It was an important post on the ancient Silk Road. This is the only way for China to Central Asia. Before County Magistrate Guo finished speaking, County Magistrate Khan sneered. What's the use of the road? Central Asia is submerged in the desert. Why are we going to Central Asia? You, County Magistrate Khan, don't you see that I'm here to negotiate with investors? County Magistrate Guo was holding back his anger. He really wanted to drive away this annoying County Magistrate Khan, but County Magistrate Khan stuck to him like a piece of candy. It was really difficult for him to get rid of him. Investor? Hahaha, you are so funny. Do you know what he does? This guy who hasn't even grown up yet is planning to open a steamed bun shop. He just got chased away by me and came to your place. You are really. After County Magistrate Khan finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. He really wanted to knock out County Magistrate Khan with one punch. However, he thought it through in an instant. Yes, County Magistrate Khan's making trouble here just means that no one wants to invest in him. Now that an investor has come to his side, he can take this opportunity to introduce it loudly so that other companies can hear it. Boss Jiang, let's ignore him. Let me continue to introduce our Mojiang's transportation. Although our Mojiang is in the frontier, the province built a highway leading directly to Mojiang a few years ago. This is incomparable to any county in Zinan. Not only that, please look here. This is Yi City Fangjin Airport. It's better to say it's our Mojiang Airport rather than Yi City Fangjin Airport, because this airport is built on our county's land. What's the use of that? The province still owes money for the construction of that highway. That airport was originally going to take Yi City off, but now it will soon be submerged by your Mojiang Desert. As soon as County Magistrate Guo said this, County Magistrate Khan of Teng County followed up with a retort. What he said was indeed true. Originally, the new province was going to focus on supporting Yi City. They wanted to build Yi City into a bridgehead city on the new Central Asian Road, so they built a highway to Yi City, built Fangjin International Airport, built Yi City high-speed rail and freight line, but just after they were built, the desert suddenly arrived, so all this caught the new province off guard, and everything that had just been built was useless. Old Khan, can you give me some face today? Can't you let me introduce our Mojiang to everyone? After County Magistrate Guo finished speaking, he looked at County Magistrate Khan with an angry face. Everyone at the negotiation meeting had almost finished talking, and the leaders of Yi City also returned to their tables. Yi City's table was not far from Mojiang, so Old Khan was very sensible and shut his mouth. Boss Jiang, our Mojiang County not only has an airport, but also a high-speed rail and a freight line. Look, this is a high-speed rail station, this is the freight line, and also transports passengers. These are all in our Mojiang territory. Originally, Yi City was going to build us into a bridgehead, so the leaders at that time set up these stations between Yi City and Mojiang County. What I want to tell you is that my development zone is built here. After County Magistrate Guo finished speaking, he stretched out his hand and pointed to a point on the map. Jiang Chen looked at the map and his face changed instantly, and then he was ecstatic. That's right, the development zone that County Magistrate Guo pointed to was not far from his ranch. Chapter 130. Your right to choose me. On the map, Yi City is northeast of Mojiang County. There is a large plain at the junction of Yi City and Mojiang. It happens to be the location of the airport, high-speed rail, and freight line. What makes Jiang Chen even more happy is that the number 2 highway he built is facing this direction. As long as Mojiang County builds more than 30 kilometers from the development zone, it can reach his ranch number 2 line. Here, this is a place specially prepared for my ranch. What Jiang Chen didn't know was that this place was originally designed as a development zone, but it was abandoned later because of the arrival of the desert. If Jiang Chen went there now, he would see the built roads, and even some factories that were about to collapse, and of course the ruins covered with dead grass. When County Magistrate Guo saw Jiang Chen smile, he felt that there was a chance, so he slapped the table and said, "How is it? Our county's transportation location is great. Not only that, you see here, there are more than 100,000 acres of land. This was originally the Mojiang development zone. Now all the enterprises in the development zone have been cut off by us. As long as you are willing, I will let you pick any land." Jiang Chen looked at the place where County Magistrate Guo pointed. That place was in the southwest of the county. It was so familiar. Jiang Chen thought carefully, "Oh my god, isn't this the cement factory and gas station next to the #1 county leading to Mojiang County? Wasn't this bought by ZHU Chang, that idiot?" "Hey, young man, don't listen to his nonsense. That place is on the border. The desert is so windy and sandy now. If you buy land now, it will become a desert next year. Instead of investing there, it's better to build a factory in the desert. That's right, you don't have to pay taxes in the desert." Hahaha, how great. Several surrounding county heads obviously knew Mojiang very well. After they finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook his head. It's not that he hadn't thought about building a company in the desert. Building a company in the desert does save taxes, but what's the use of saving taxes? What you produce can't enter the Chinese market at all. Therefore, he must build a factory in Mojiang, then package the company as a Mojiang company, and then pass the verification of the relevant departments of Mojiang before he can sell Mojiang products nationwide. His roses are like this, but his rose online store is tax free for 3 years, so this group of people don't know the revenue of the rose shop. You guys, believe it or not, I will go find Mayor Ma right away. Seeing that several people always sabotaged his own plans, County Magistrate Guo got angry. When County Magistrate Guo mentioned Mayor Ma, several people immediately quieted down. However, County Magistrate Khan said unconvincedly, "What's the point of saying these? He just runs a steamed buns shop. Who are you going to sell the steamed buns to if you let him open that shop? Screw your mother's steamed buns shop." Jiang Chen really wanted to beat him up when he heard it. "Okay, I'm very satisfied with these lands. Can you tell me the specific price and tax and other things?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo was very excited. That's right, he finally got an investment. In the past 6 months, since he was transferred to Mojiang, he has traveled all over the country and visited countless companies that were moving westward. He said so many good things and saw so many cold stares. He didn't get a single company. Who could have imagined how bitter he was? The county couldn't even afford to pay the teachers' salaries, so he didn't dare stay in a hotel in Shanghai at night and slept in the park. He was almost beaten by homeless people. When he returned to Mojiang, he failed to attract any enterprises and was ridiculed and insulted by his subordinates at all levels. This kind of mood. "Thank you, Boss Jiang. Thank you, Boss Jiang. The land price here is cheap. You can name your price." "No, let me tell you this. We don't want money for the land. As long as you can solve the employment problem of our county's people, this land will be given for free. In addition, 10 years of tax exemption. If you are willing to invest, we can also give you tax-free annual salary." Haha, 10 years of tax exemption. County Magistrate Guo is really capable. Mojiang County, didn't the experts say that the entire Mojiang County will be swallowed up by the desert in 5 years at most? I'm telling you the truth, little brother. Since you are Secretary Wang's relative, I'll give you a hand. The governor upstairs is having a meeting, and I believe they will reach a consensus soon. By then, Fangzhen Airport and the high-speed rail station will have to be moved. Not only that, even the urban area of Yi City will have to be demolished. After County Magistrate Guo finished speaking, Mayor Fang came over from a distance. Mayor Fang had negotiated with more than 20 companies this morning, and 7 of them had invested over 100 million yuan, so he was in a particularly good mood. Therefore, when he saw the person recommended by Secretary Wang preparing to sign a contract with Mojiang, he couldn't help but think that he would be laughed at if he came to see it. After Mayor Fang finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo lowered his head. His face was uglier than pig liver. Yes, he also received a notice from above, but he just refused to admit it. He always felt that, as long as he worked hard, as long as he attracted sponsorship, as long as companies moved into their Mojiang, his Mojiang would be saved. However, you run a steamed bun shop, so there is no need to worry about this. At worst, you can go somewhere else to make steamed buns when the desert comes. So just sign the contract wherever you want. After all, this is considered as helping County Magistrate Guo, right County Magistrate Guo? Mayor Fang knew County Magistrate Guo. Generally speaking, it is impossible for a future member of the Standing Committee of the Provincial Party Committee to know a small county magistrate, but Guo Keming was different. He walked out of Mojiang County more than 10 years ago and was admitted to China's top universities, Peking University and Tsinghua University, and then studied management at Tsinghua University and Peking University until he graduated with a postdoctoral degree. After graduation, Tsinghua University and Peking University invited him to stay in school, but he refused. After rejecting Peking University and Tsinghua University, Guo Keming returned to the new province with his backpack. Li Sheng was very optimistic about this young man and prepared to train him, so he kept him by his side as a secretary. After 2 years as a secretary, Li Sheng felt that he could be transferred to another place, so he prepared to transfer him to Kala City as deputy mayor. However, County Magistrate Guo insisted on returning to his hometown. In his words, a tree cannot live without roots and a person cannot miss his hometown, so he insisted on returning to his hometown, Mojiang, to fight the desert. Li Sheng was also very angry about this, so he told him clearly that Mojiang had been abandoned, and Fangjin Airport and other things would have to be relocated by the end of the year, but Guo Keming refused to give up on himself. He said that whoever abandons his hometown is a sinner. Therefore, at Guo Keming's insistence, Provincial Governor Li sent him down to Mojiang for training. Guo Keming, a deputy mayor of a sub-provincial city who quit his job and ran to a border county to be a county magistrate, became famous in the new province. Of course, it was a laughingstock. After Mayor Fang finished speaking, a group of people gathered around him soon. These people included leaders at the municipal level and some businessmen from the southeast coast. However, they all stood on Mayor Fang's side without exception. After all, Mayor Fang was the mayor of the provincial capital. That's right, sign it. After all, even if you are helping County Magistrate Guo, it doesn't matter where you make buns. But it's different for County Magistrate Guo, because buns also have to pay taxes. That's right, sign it. The land in Mojiang is not valuable anyway. By the way, you can build a bun base there. Tens of thousands of acres of land will be given to you to make buns. You can lead the remaining old, weak, sick and disabled people in Mojiang to make buns together, and then you can eat together. Doesn't this promote consumption in Mojiang? Ha ha ha. Is this young man crazy? Going to Mojiang to make buns? Won't the buns turn into sandbags when the wind and sand blow? Sandbags? Funny guy. Wait. Funny guy hitting sandbags. Is this a silly bun? I'm going to drive my BMW to try it later. Ha ha ha. Chapter 131. Others laugh at me for being crazy. A group of people laughed. Mayor Ma of Yi City also came over. Mayor Ma was very short, in his 50s, with grey hair. His face was full of wrinkles. Perhaps because of poor sleep, his eyes were full of bloodshot. Mayor Ma walked into the crowd. He saw a group of people laughing at County Mayor Guo. He walked to County Mayor Guo, patted him on the shoulder and said, "Little Guo, it's okay, don't take it to heart. You are still young, and will have plenty of opportunities in the future. Mayor Fang, this is a talent for Ma Yi City. You have to take care of him in the future." Mayor Ma was ready to shake hands with Mayor Fang. After he finished speaking, Mayor Fang did not extend his hand. After all, this guy had competed with him for the standing committee and almost squeezed him out. Mayor Fang did not extend his hand. Mayor Ma extended his hand back and said, "It's okay, it's okay. Li Sheng is about to finish the meeting. Let's go back to our tables." Mayor Ma was embarrassed. A group of people looked at him with ill intentions. After all, Yi City had not attracted a single enterprise in the past morning. Mayor Fang was about to take the opportunity to humiliate Yi City Mayor Ma Wenji, but Jiang Chen looked at Guo Keming and said, County Magistrate Guo, stick to yourself. Mojiang is the best. Although I'm a packager, I can still afford billions. Also, how much land is there in the Mojiang development zone near the border? I want it all. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people couldn't help laughing. That's right, this guy hasn't even grown all his hair yet, but he speaks in a very arrogant tone. County Magistrate Guo saw that Jiang Chen was going to take his development zone. Although others laughed at him, he would not give up, as long as there was a glimmer of hope. So he looked at Jiang Chen and said, this development area is 49 square kilometers. It used to be half of Mojiang town. There are many factories here, including packaging plants, processing plants, cement plants and so on. If you want it, the land doesn't cost money, and the factory fee can be subsidized by the county's finances. 49 square kilometers is indeed a large area. Jiang Chen has many enterprises that need land. For example, rose processing requires a rose processing plant. Desert sunflowers also require a melon seed plant, and Jinshaoxing requires a canning plant and almond processing plant. Not only that, Jiang Chen wants to operate desert tourism, so he has to open a desert tourism company in Mojiang, so that he has the right to operate desert tourism. Jiang Chen thought about it. Not only did he have to open a desert tourism company, he also had to open a transportation company in Mojiang. This transportation company had to be responsible for packaging the products produced in the desert and transporting them to Fangjin Airport or the freight line. Moreover, he also had to open a passenger transportation company. After all, he needed so many workers, and the workers needed to travel back and forth between Mojiang and Yi City. Thinking about it this way, he really needed a lot of land. Let's do this. County Magistrate Guo, give us a price. Jiang Chen said, and County Magistrate Guo thought for a while and said, give me 2 million. After Guo Keming finished speaking, the surroundings suddenly changed. Oh my god, is this robbery? That place will be swallowed up by the desert in less than a year. You don't even use this method to cheat people. That's right, what a black-hearted leader. As expected, it's right for us not to invest here. Haha, this guy said that he is the leader of the younger generation in the new province. I hate such a leader. After a group of people finished talking, even Ma Wenji said unhappily, Zio Guo, that place will soon be swallowed up by the desert. We can't, Uncle Ma. I know, but the teachers in Mojiang haven't been paid for 2 years. It's not easy for them to hold on. There are still many children in the county. I just want to ask for more money to pay their salaries, so that they, speaking of those teachers who persevered in the wind and sand, Guo Keming could not help sobbing. That's right, there are only 3 kinds of people in this world who cannot be let down: the soldiers guarding their homes, the doctors saving the wounded, and the teachers who work hard. Those teachers persevered in the villages swallowed up by the desert. In the huge wind and sand, only their bright red national flag rose every day. In such a desolate place, only they persisted until death, and would not leave. They were willing to use the last of their knowledge to fight the desert to the end. Such people, Guo Keming. Seeing Guo Keming crying, Ma Wenji could not help wiping his wrinkled eyes, patted Guo Keming on the back and said, there is no hope. Tell them, don't insist. They didn't listen. I said, they said they are old, and they have not made any contribution to the country in their lifetime. The children in the village, who can't leave, need them. Money is no longer important. But, as a parent official, I can't let them down. They have dedicated their whole lives to the countryside. As long as I have a breath left, I will accompany them to fight to the end. Yes, fight to the end. We have lost our homes. What else can we hope for? We Mojiang people don't believe in evil. Let's unite. Man can conquer nature. After Guo Keming finished speaking, several people who followed him also slammed the table and shouted. Jiang Chen was immediately moved. Yes, if a person loses his faith, what is the difference between being dead? His grandfather, his parents went to the desert without hesitation, and the people of Mojiang were unwilling to evacuate until they died. What did they do for? Wasn't it for the last bit of uncompromising obsession in the heart of the people? Only if you win in this life can you have roots, and if you lose for 100 generations, you will be a refugee. 2 billion. I bought these lands. In addition, I don't need 10 years of tax exemption. I will start paying taxes this year. However, I have a request. You must find a way to improve the supporting network and roads as soon as possible. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a round of applause broke out around him. Yes, this is a conscientious enterprise. Knowing there are tigers in the mountains, you still go there. Young man, you are really good. You dare to spend 2 billion to buy land. I dare not promise anything else, but I have built the roads in Mojiang Development Zone. Ma Wenji could not help but nod his head in appreciation. It must be said that, just for Jiang Chen's courage today, Ma Wenji will protect Jiang Chen's enterprises in Yi City from now on. After Ma Wenji finished speaking, several big bosses around him saw that Jiang Chen had stolen their limelight, and they quickly laughed at Jiang Chen. 20 billion. Haha, young man, you're so arrogant. You haven't even grown all your hair yet, but you're good at bragging. That's right, your last name is Jiang, and I've never heard of the Jiang family being so rich in China. You must be hired by County Magistrate Guo. County Magistrate Guo, I have to say that I, Old Khan, admire you. It's a pity that you don't go to the film academy to teach. After a few people finished discussing, Urumqi Mayor Fang Mingda saw that Ma Wenji and Guo Keming had stolen his spot, so he sneered. Okay, graduates from Peking University and Tsinghua University are different. In order to keep a crappy airport, even Mayor Ma has to act with them. But next time, at least find a decent actor. This poor teenage kid has trouble making a bun, and he comes up with 20 billion. It's really. Chapter 132. I laugh at others for not seeing through. Mayor Ma, please build a highway from the development zone to the airport. My factory will need to ship goods quickly. Also, County Magistrate Guo, I also want the land of this high-speed railway station and the new development zone next to the airport. 3 billion. However, please build the supporting network and street lights for me. In addition, build a highway from the airport and the freight line all the way to here. Jiang Chen ignored Fang Mingda. He pointed to the new development zone on the map and drew a line directly to his ranch number 2 county scenic area. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Ma Wenji nodded and said, okay, as long as you invest here, I will build a road for you. Sign the contract. Jiang Chen didn't waste any words. He took advantage of the fact that all the bigwigs were at the investment meeting to witness it. You know, on the surface, Jiang Chen lost money, but in fact, Jiang Chen was secretly happy. He spent 5 billion to get so much land. This 5 billion bought not only land, but also China's recognition of his scenic area and the things produced in the desert. As long as the government approves it, he can directly enter the Chinese market in the future, and the money he can earn will start from trillions. Moreover, Jiang Chen knows that Mojiang River will not turn into a desert after all. After all, he is blocking the west of Mojiang River. When they find that the Mojiang Desert has turned into an oasis, if they want to invest in Mojiang County again, the land will be sky high. Sign the land contract first. The old development zone has an area of 49 square kilometers and costs 2 billion yuan, and the new development zone has an area of 57 square kilometers and costs 3 billion yuan. The land use period is 30 years. Oh no, Xiao Guo, Old Ma, have made the decision. The use period of these two plots of land is 50 years. Xiao Guo, print out the contract and give it to Boss Jiang to sign now. After Ma Wenji finished speaking, Guo Keming's secretary had already opened a contract. He modified a few places on the side and clicked print. Soon, after a few squeaks, the two contracts were printed out. After the contracts were printed out, Guo Keming handed a copy to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen took a look and said, add what I just said. Build a highway from the old development zone to the new development zone within a year, and then build a road from the new development zone to the desert before the end of the year. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Ma Wenji nodded and said, okay, add it. After Ma Wenji finished speaking, Guo Keming's secretary hurriedly revised it for a while, and printed out 2 more contracts. After the contracts were ready, Jiang Chen read them and nodded. Seeing Jiang Chen nodded, Guo Keming happily took the contract and said, then let's sign the contract. The people from the Land and Resources Bureau are here. Come and sign it. Director Me. As Guo Keming was speaking, Director Me came over and signed his name on the contract and then stamped it with the seal of the Land and Resources Bureau. After Director Me signed, Jiang Chen thought for a while and said, let's stamp the county seal as well. County Mayor Guo, you sign as well. By the way, there are people from the city who are repairing the roads here. Mayor Ma, please also. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Mayor Ma smiled. This young man, despite his young age, is really cautious. Okay, we will definitely not default on you. After Mayor Ma laughed, he took the city seal and stamped it, and then signed his own name. Then Guo Keming signed his seal, and Jiang Chen also wrote his own name. After each of them had one copy of the contract, Jiang Chen handed the contract to the promotion manager and said, Manager Guan, keep it. The promotion manager took the contract. Guo Keming was just about to ask about the money, and County Magistrate Khan laughed on the side. What a lunatic, haha. After signing the contract, Jiang Chen also laughed. Others laugh at me for being too crazy. I laugh at others for not seeing through it. Wait and regret it later, you idiots. Governor Li is here. Someone in the crowd shouted, and soon an old man in his 50s walked straight to the podium of the negotiation meeting. After Li Sheng came, Fang Mingde, Ma Wenji and others hurried to greet him. When they greeted Li Sheng, Governor Li's face was very solemn. Several people looked at Li Sheng, and their hearts were lifted. Li Sheng, this negotiation meeting has ended successfully. We are just waiting for you to go on stage to speak. After Fang Mingde finished speaking, Li Sheng nodded and said, okay, how many companies have you signed today? We signed 27 companies in total. After Fang Mingde finished speaking, the mayor of Kala City beside him also hurriedly said, we signed 12 companies. We signed 5. Governor Li, our city signed 8 companies. Our region signed 7 companies. After a group of municipal leaders finished speaking, Li Sheng looked at Ma Wenji who was silent on the side. Ma Wenji lowered his head. Mayor Fang flattered on the side. None of their companies signed, but they did sell 2 plots of land. After Fang Mingde finished speaking, Li Sheng was stunned. What he didn't understand was that Yi City was about to be demolished as a whole, so why was the land still being sold? What's going on? Well, that Mojiang County sold 2 plots of land. After Ma Wenji finished speaking, the secretary, who was on good terms with Ma Wenji, hurriedly said, Li Sheng, ours in province has gained a lot this time. Now the country attaches great importance to the development of the western region, and many companies have moved to our western region. We have accepted 3 companies with over 1 billion yuan, 21 companies with over 100 million yuan, and dozens of companies with over 10 million yuan. This is simply a great help to the development of ours in province. After the secretary finished speaking, Li Sheng's expression eased a little. When he was about to walk to the podium, Li Sheng looked at Fang Mingde beside him and asked, aren't there any companies with over 10 billion yuan? After Li Sheng finished speaking, Fang Mingde shook his head and said, no. The one with the largest investment is a steel company with 2.7 billion yuan. After Fang Mingde finished speaking, Li Sheng couldn't help but frowned. He turned his head and looked at the secretary and asked, didn't the young people from the auction yesterday come? After Li Sheng finished speaking, Secretary Wang hurriedly replied, he is here. I introduced him to Mayor Fang in person. Didn't Mayor Fang keep him? You, when did you introduce them to me? I haven't even met them. Fang Mingde started to refute as soon as Secretary Wang finished speaking. After Fang Mingde finished speaking, Secretary Wang also became anxious. He pointed at Fang Mingde and said, Mayor Fang, how can you say that? Have you forgotten that I introduced 2 young people to you this morning? When I left, I told you that we must keep them in your room key after a good talk. Do you dare to say that you didn't? After Secretary Wang finished speaking, Fang Mingde suddenly remembered that the 2 guys were the 2 idiots who bought the land just now. You mean those 2, aren't they your relatives? Where did the 10 billion investment come from? After Fang Mingde finished speaking, Li Sheng heard that the 2 people failed to keep Jiang Chen. He looked at the 2 people with a serious face and scolded them. What's the matter? Can't you handle such a small matter? I tell you to, if you let him go, because of you two, I will never let you two go. Now all provinces are paying close attention to the construction of the economic environment, and the governors of all provinces are watching. The main buyer of such a large enterprise as Delian He left Xin province, and went to the neighboring Gansu province. By then, he will have no chance at all. No, they haven't left. Those two are sitting at the table over there. Chapter 133 Stealing the Show. Governor Li got angry and several people started to tremble. Seeing this, Mayor Fang hurriedly pointed at the table in Mojiang County and shouted, "Don't worry, Governor, don't worry, they will definitely not leave. They are there." After Mayor Fang finished speaking, the secretary looked in the direction of his hand. At this moment, Jiang Chen was sitting with County Mayor Guo. Seeing that Jiang Chen had not left, he was relieved. Anyway, no matter which city Jiang Chen talked to, as long as he could stay in the new province, everything would be fine. Governor Li, he has not left. Let's go up and speak first. After the speech, I will ask him to come and visit you. After the secretary finished speaking, Governor Li saw Jiang Chen sitting in a remote corner. He walked towards Jiang Chen without saying a word. Governor Li walked towards Jiang Chen, and Mayor Fang and several people behind him hurriedly trotted after him. They knew that Governor Li was a military man, and was vigorous and resolute in doing things, so they were a little afraid. When Governor Li walked to the Mojiang table, several leaders of Mojiang stood up, and greeted Governor Li. Governor Li walked over, and stretched out his calloused hands to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen also shook his hands. "Hello, thank you for coming to today's negotiation meeting. Thank you Governor Li for the invitation. I'm also honored to invest in Xin province." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Mayor Fang hurriedly took a stool for Governor Li to sit down. Governor Li's long-term military life made his health very bad. In addition, he liked to visit the grassroots. Xin province was mountainous, and the bumpy mountain roads made him suffer from back pain early. When his back hurt, he couldn't sleep, and this poor sleep made his body even weaker. Ahem. Governor Li coughed twice, pointed at the stool embarrassedly and said, "Little brother, my waist is not good. I'll sit first. You sit too. Do you see any good places in our new province?" After Governor Li sat down, a smile appeared on his face. The not-so-serious Governor Li looked very much like the amiable old grandfather next door. Jiang Chen thought, if his grandfather hadn't died, he should not be much older than Governor Li. "Yes, I have a place in mind. I discussed it with County Guo and City Ma. I've chosen the old and new development zones in Mojiang. I've already bought the land. I'm going to invest later." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Li asked County Guo to bring a map. He looked at the place marked on the map and shook his head hurriedly, saying, No, this place won't work." After Governor Li finished speaking, Jiang Chen asked curiously, "Why not? I just like this place. To be honest, I've signed the documents. In the future, I will invest at least 100 billion here." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people behind him burst out laughing. Are people nowadays really so boastful? A 19-year-old kid, who can easily make tens of billions or hundreds of billions, does his money come from the wind? What are you laughing at? Governor Li's face turned cold, and the people behind him quickly shut up. This place is not suitable. Our provincial party committee just held a meeting with desert experts from Beijing. According to the experts' calculations, Mojiang County will be submerged by wind and sand in 2 years at most, and Yi City will become a large desert in less than 5 years. Therefore, this place cannot be approved for you. After Governor Li finished speaking, Jiang Chen thought that Governor Li was really a good person. However, since Jiang Chen dared to buy him, there must be a reason for him to buy it. Then do you believe me when I say that this place will not become a desert? The experts all say it will. How can you be better than the experts? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, County Mayor Khan beside him couldn't help but speak up. As soon as County Mayor Khan finished speaking, Jiang Chen took out his mobile phone and opened a video. In the video, there were grass hills all over the mountains, and the grass hills were green. To be honest, I created a grassland in the desert, right here. In addition, I also built a road that goes all the way to the border of China. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people looked at the green grassland in Jiang Chen's hand and were stunned. That's right, that was the death desert. How could there be grassland in the death desert? Ah. No wonder you want me to build a road in the desert. It turns out you have grassland. Myanmar also shouted in surprise when he saw this. After Myanmar finished speaking, Jiang Chen put away his phone and pointed to the development zone next to Fangzhen Airport and said, Governor Lee, this is my plan. I will turn this grassland into a tourist attraction. In the future, I will raise hundreds of millions of cattle and sheep here. By then, I will build a great dairy company like Mengniu in Mojiang New Development Zone. I will invest at least 4 billion in this company. By then, I will also take advantage of the opportunity to create a milk powder company that babies all over the country can drink with confidence. Before Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee suddenly interrupted Jiang Chen. He motioned Jiang Chen to stop and said, let's talk in the inner room. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded, so he personally got up and went to help Governor Lee up. Several bodyguards came over and wanted to push Jiang Chen away. Governor Lee gestured, and they made way. Supporting Governor Lee, the two of them were about to walk towards the inner room behind the podium in the conference room while talking. Behind Governor Lee, a group of municipal leaders hurriedly followed. Jiang Chen looked at them and said, Governor Lee, there's no need for the others to follow. Okay, you all wait outside. After Governor Lee finished speaking, a group of leaders looked at Jiang Chen and wanted to beat him to death. Why did this guy always want to steal the spotlight? Can County Magistrate Guo and Myanmar come in? Jiang Chen asked hurriedly when the two were about to enter the inner room. Governor Lee nodded and said, you two come in and bring the map. When County Magistrate Guo and Myanmar heard this, they were delighted. Yes, their chance had come. County Magistrate Guo rolled up the map and ran towards the inner room. When he passed by County Magistrate Kyan, he did not forget to stop in front of him and straightened his chest. Seeing this, County Magistrate Kyan cursed angrily. What are you saying? The experts from Beijing have said that they want to relocate, and you don't believe that a kid can change the experts' opinions. Really? Then just wait and see. County Magistrate Guo went into the inner room while speaking. Outside the room, Mayor Fang and others were blocked outside. At this moment, Mayor Fang's face turned green, and his secretary kept talking to him. Mayor Fang, look at what you have done. The total amount you negotiated in the whole morning was less than 10 billion, while Myanmar negotiated more than 100 billion. Now you can forget about becoming a member of the standing committee. After Secretary Wang finished speaking, Mayor Fang was so angry that he slapped himself twice and said, hey, look at my dog eyes. Why didn't I think he was so rich? Secretary Wang saw that Mayor Fang regretted his life, and he said, fortunately, he just bought the land and didn't invest. I tell you, you have to seize the opportunity later. He also has a company headquartered in Washi. It is a company with a market value of 10 billion. You can't let it go later. When the secretary told Mayor Fang about Jiang Chen buying Dalianhua, Mayor Fang was stunned. He was busy this morning, but he didn't attract a single 10 billion enterprise. Not to mention a bunch of polluting enterprises. He had to run to another 10 billion enterprise. How could he not feel pain? You have to know that every enterprise is the guarantee of his GDP. However, if regret is useful, who would do things that they would not regret? Chapter 134 We should all protect the environment. Inside the podium of the investment promotion conference, after Guo came in, Governor Lee was holding Jiang Chen's phone and looking at something. He was looking at it very attentively, as if time had stopped for him. It took him a long time to put down the phone. Governor Lee, now that everyone is here, I will start. Myanmar will build the road to the border before the end of the year, and I will have a batch of cattle and sheep on the market before the end of the year. By then, I will set up a slaughterhouse in the development zone, and all the desert cattle and sheep will be slaughtered and processed in the development zone slaughterhouse, and then sold all over the country. I estimate that this market will start at least 10 billion yuan a year. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Myanmar nodded hurriedly and said, I will build this road when I get back. Okay. In addition, I will build a milk processing plant and a milk powder factory as soon as possible. As for talent, I will hire nationally renowned milk manufacturing experts and employees. The milk and milk powder I want to make are not for profit, but for quality. I want people all over the country to be able to drink healthy and pure milk and milk powder. Therefore, I have to trouble Governor Lee with the approval of the company. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee nodded. Governor Lee was already overjoyed. That's right, if their province could produce a milk company like Mengniu, wouldn't he be so happy? Zhao Jiang, what are you going to do after buying Dalianhua? Although these companies are promising, it is not easy to really expand an unknown milk company. Therefore, Governor Lee is still very concerned about Jiang Chen's Dalianhua store. Speaking of Dalianhua stores, Jiang Chen pointed to the new development zone on the map and said, I bought Dalianhua to set up a Sahara shop. My Sahara shop does not sell buns. Instead, the things sold in it are all world-class high-end agricultural products. What do you mean? Governor Lee looked at Jiang Chen. He found that this young man was not simple, and he became more and more interested in Jiang Chen. Take a look at this, Jiang Chen said, and opened a video. The video showed a field of beautiful roses in the desert that stretched as far as the eye could see. Looking at the sea of roses, even County Governor Lee took a breath. What? So many roses? Where did you take the pictures? There is also this kind of rose. I'm afraid we don't have it in China. After County Magistrate Guo finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded and said, indeed, there is no such thing in China. This is a new variety I developed, and it is also planted in the desert, not far from the old development zone of Mojiang. The Sahapuzi group I established specializes in selling this kind of rose. Of course, not only roses. If roses are not selling well in the future, I will also sell dried rose petals. Also, look at this. This is a desert improved sunflower. I plan to build a melon seed brand after collecting the melon seeds. My desert melon seeds have a long shelf life and the taste will definitely crush all melon seed companies. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he clicked on the sea of desert sunflowers. Governor Lee looked at the swaying sea of desert sunflowers and was so surprised that he couldn't speak for a moment. He didn't know who the young man in front of him was, but he could tinker with so many awesome things in the death desert. What's the difference between him and a god? Not only that, there is also this. This is called Desert Golden Longevity Apricot. I don't need to say much about the Golden Longevity Apricot. When the apricot trees are in bloom, I will hold an apricot blossom festival. When the apricots are ripe, I will sell them. The unsold apricots can be canned, and the almonds can be dug out and sold separately. I have tens of thousands of acres of golden longevity apricots here. I don't need to tell you the output value by then. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Mama's legs began to tremble. He looked at the golden longevity apricots, and he couldn't believe his eyes. How could there be so many golden apricots in this desert? Don't worry about that. This is all my investment for now. What do you think, Governor Lee? Can my company allow you to keep Fangjin Airport and the high-speed rail station? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee looked through the sea of roses and sunflowers for a long time and fell into deep thought. After thinking for a long time, Governor Lee turned his head and looked at the door. Mayor Ma hurriedly opened the door. Mayor Fang and others were eavesdropping at the door. When the door opened, several people looked inside awkwardly and said hurriedly, it's okay, you continue talking, let's go somewhere else. Stay away. After Governor Lee finished speaking, the secretary hurriedly asked a few people to leave, and Mayor Ma closed the door. After closing the door, Governor Lee looked at Jiang Chen and said, let's talk about our own business behind closed doors. Your company can really make me consider keeping Fangjin Airport and the high-speed rail station, but all of your things are planted in the desert. According to international conventions, this is an unmanaged area, so your things are not protected. Moreover, according to common sense, these things you produce should be considered imported. If they are imported, you are not a country and there are no standards, so your matter is difficult to handle. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Yes, he had thought about this difficulty a long time ago, but he believed that there was nothing in this world that could not be solved by hard work. Provincial Lee, you must have a way to solve it. I'm still young, and I will listen to you. As long as you let my products be registered under the name of Xinsheng, all these problems will be solved. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Li Sheng stood up and paced around the room. He was facing a dilemma. If he chose to register all of Jiang Chen's things under the name of the new province, then there is no doubt that the tax revenue from these enterprises will undoubtedly pull the GDP of the new province from the last to the middle. However, he will also have to bear many risks. First of all, this desert belongs to a non-management area. Production in a non-management area violates the International Desert Protection Law. If it is discovered, it will be brought to the International Court. However, this international court is also Jiang Chen's going to the international court and has nothing to do with them. However, Jiang Chen, this kid, is so talented. How can he bear to see him go astray? It's not easy. Have you heard of the Desert Protection Law? Yes, but let's just say that this piece of land belongs to Mojiang County. Who can really measure the size of Mojiang? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, County Magistrate Guo and the others also guessed what Li Sheng was worried about, so in order to keep Jiang Chen, County Magistrate Guo hurriedly said, Li Sheng, really, this is an opportunity. Money or not is not the point. Boss Jiang has the ability to turn the desert into an oasis. What does that mean? That means that our Mojiang County will no longer be afraid of the desert. That's right, Governor Li. If Mojiang County is saved, then won't our Xin province be saved? So, we have to support Zhao. Mayor Ma also followed up. Li Sheng thought about it, and it was indeed true. Now the biggest problem facing Xin province is desertification. The desert devours tens of thousands of acres of land in Xin province every year. Today, people are still helpless against the desert. But if Jiang Chen finds a way to deal with the desert, if he supports Jiang Chen, then Jiang Chen will green the desert on the edge of the entire Xin province. Then won't the desert problem in Xin province be solved? Moreover, is the desert problem that plagues the entire China still a problem? Exclamation mark. Chapter 135 Mojiang Free Trade Zone. Jiang Chen looked at Governor Li and said, for the sake of the people of Xin province, and for the sake of China not suffering from the desert. Governor Li nodded and said, I have to support you, but the problem I mentioned must also be solved. Governor Li, let's designate the area on the edge of the Mojiang Desert as Mojiang's Economic Development Zone. We will only take care of the development zone, and not the rest. No matter where Zhejiang produces, as long as their company is in our economic zone and their products can pass the certification of Xin province, we will allow them to sell. That's right. Besides, the big countries in the world are also being threatened by the desert and can't get away from it. How can they have the time to take care of our small place? After Mayor Ma finished speaking, Li nodded, but then he looked at Jiang Chen and said, I can provide convenience for your company, but I have a request. All your companies cannot be built in non-managed areas. Your companies must be built in Mojiang. If you can do it, I will agree to it. That's right. Li Sheng wants to give Jiang Chen shelter, but Jiang Chen must also show sincerity. Otherwise Jiang Chen will build all the companies in the non-management area, and he won't pay a penny of tax, and Xin Sheng will take the risk to help himself things. Xin Sheng will not accept this as a scapegoat. After Li Sheng finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded and said, don't worry, Li Sheng, my Sahara shop's main store will be moved from Washi to Mojiang New Development Zone. In addition, my slaughterhouse, dairy farm, and milk powder factory will all be set up in Mojiang New Development Zone. By the way, in the future, my rose factory, melon seed factory, and canning factory will also be built in the old development zone of Mojiang. In the future, all my companies will pay taxes to Mojiang County. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Guo were so excited that they almost cried. That's right, with Jiang Chen, Mojiang can not only be saved, but Jiang Chen has brought them so many companies. They are almost ready to take off. Thank you, Boss Jiang. Thank you, Boss Jiang. The main direction of our Yi City's future development lies in the Mojiang New Development Zone. In addition, the road leading to the new development zone from the old Mojiang Development Zone will be started as soon as I return, and I will ensure that it is completed before the end of the year with guaranteed quality and quantity. The mayor of Yi City also expressed his opinion immediately. That's right, with the help of Jiang Chen, his Yi City will soon be able to get rid of the last place in the province. Moreover, as long as Jiang Chen's company develops, it is possible for Yi City to enter the top 3. By then, he can really compete with Fang Mingde. After Mayor Ma finished speaking, Jiang Chen shook hands with him and said, "No need to thank me, everything is thanks to Governor Li." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the two of them thanked Li Sheng again. Li Sheng looked at the map on the table. He had to say that the planning of Fangzhen Airport was indeed far-sighted. If the desert had not suddenly arrived, Mojiang and Yi City would probably have merged together long ago, and they would definitely have become the bridgehead city in the middle of the new province. It's a pity. Don't call it a development zone in the future. Let's build a provincial bonded zone here in the future. Gansu province has a Ganna new district. Our new province will also build a Mojiang bonded new district. Our province will also allocate resources to build it. Kemming, you go back and write an application report for the bonded new district and hand it to my office. After Li Sheng finished speaking, he thought of the Ganna new district built by Gansu province. The Ganna new district is now developing in full swing. I wonder if the Mojiang new district he built with the power of the entire province can compare with the Ganna new district. When Jiuo Kemming heard that Li Sheng asked him to set up a new bonded area, his eyes were wet with excitement. Yes, what does a bonded area mean? That means that all taxes in this area do not need to be paid. Moreover, with this tax money, Mojiang will become a phoenix in the future. Thank you, Governor Li. Thank you, Governor Li. Jiuo Kemming was so excited at the moment that he could not express it in words. Li Sheng nodded. He knew that the province would definitely have no objection to this new bonded area, because in their eyes, Mojiang was just a wasteland. As long as they didn't have to pay for such a wasteland, who would expect to take their money? Zhao Jiang, I can help you with your business. In the future, your company will pay taxes in the new province, and it will be equivalent to our new province's company. However, there is still a problem. The desert experts from Beijing asked us to give up this land. If you want this new district land, you must convince them. After Governor Li finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Li Sheng followed up and said, "We don't have much time to think about how to convince them. They have already gone to the airport. Let's set off quickly." After Governor Li finished speaking, he called the airport. After the call, he took Jiang Chen and pushed open the door and walked towards the negotiation hall. When Mayor Fang and others saw Li Sheng coming out, they hurriedly surrounded him, but Governor Li just said lightly, "You guys entertain the guests here. Secretary Wang, you will speak for me later. I'll go to the airport first." After Governor Li finished speaking, Secretary Wang nodded hurriedly. He was most happy to speak on behalf of the leader. However, when Mayor Fang and others saw Governor Li taking Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Jiuo away, they felt unhappy. Yes, letting Mayor Ma climb the high branch of the governor would inevitably hinder his progress. No, Governor Li won't be able to do anything for a few years. We have to find a way to surpass old Ma. This was the first sentence that popped into Mayor Fang's mind. Of course, the other people were also envious, but they were also a little worried. Yes, they laughed at Jiuo Kemming and Ma Wenji a lot in the province. What if these two people got up in the future and they held a grudge? So, they had to work hard. At the entrance of the hotel, an Audi A8 sedan with a government license plate drove out of the garage. After Governor Li and Jiang Chen and others got in the car, the Audi A8 drove straight to the airport. In the car, Jiang Chen was thinking about how to convince the Shangjing people. It must be said that it was not easy to convince the Shangjing people, but Jiang Chen had already come up with some ideas. At the airport, when Jiang Chen arrived, the experts from the Shangjing Desert Management Bureau were waiting for the flight in the second floor waiting room of the airport. After several people hurriedly ran to the VIP waiting room, Deputy Director Sun of the Desert Management Bureau looked up at the wall clock. It was less than half an hour before their plane took off. Director Sun, wait a minute, we have something important to discuss with you. Governor Li shouted to Director Sun after he ran into the waiting room. Jiang Chen walked into the room and saw three people sitting inside, two men and one woman. The woman was in her 30s, wearing a professional suit and light makeup, looking very gentle. Next to her sat an old man in his 50s, who was wearing a Zongshan suit and a pair of glasses. Next to the old man was a middle-aged man in his 40s, who was carrying a briefcase and wearing sunglasses. He was obviously a martial artist with extraordinary skills. From the way he sat, He seemed to be from a special team. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136. Give me 2 minutes. What's wrong, Governor Lee? Director Sun stood up from the sofa. After Director Sun stood up, the man in black beside him also stood in front of him. Director Sun waved his hand, and he walked behind Director Sun. Jiang Chen looked at the man, and found that he was a bodyguard. Director Sun, I want to tell you, that there is a turnaround in the desert, so Mojiang and Yi City may not have to move. What turnaround? It's impossible not to move, Governor Lee. The move is the decision made by our bureau after research, so there is no way to do this. Although I know that the move may reduce the GDP of your province, I hope you understand that it is a matter of concern to the lives of the people. After Director Sun finished speaking, the airport broadcast sounded from the loudspeaker in the room. Passengers taking the flight from Urumqi to Beijing, please hurry up and board the plane. Please board. Sorry, we have to go back. We have a meeting tonight. Let's contact each other later. Director Sun saw that the boarding time had arrived, so he hurriedly picked up his briefcase and walked out the door. When Governor Lee and his men saw that Director Sun was about to leave, he hurriedly pulled Director Sun and said, "Give this little brother 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, he will explain it to you clearly." After Governor Lee finished speaking, Director Sun looked at Jiang Chen, who was beside Governor Lee. Jiang Chen was only 19 years old at the moment. Compared to Director Sun, who was in his 50s, he was just a child, so he said somewhat impolitely, "I'm sorry, my time is very precious. I can't miss this flight, so I don't have time to listen to what this kid has to explain." After Director Sun finished speaking, he was about to leave. Governor Lee looked at Jiang Chen anxiously. Jiang Chen took out his mobile phone from his pocket and said, "Director Sun, it doesn't take 5 minutes, just 1 minute. You can watch a video and watch it while you go. By the way, County Magistrate Guo, please book a few tickets to Fangjin Airport. I think Director Sun must have time to visit Mojiang." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the female secretary in black stockings said unhappily, "You don't need to book the plane ticket. Governor Lee, you should be more careful in your work in the future. Our Director Sun is so busy, how can he have time to play with a child?" After the secretary finished speaking, the bodyguard stretched out his hand to stop Jiang Chen. He grabbed Jiang Chen's arm with his iron arms in an instant. Jiang Chen said unhappily, "Let go. You step back, otherwise. Ouch, it hurts." Before the bodyguard finished speaking, Jiang Chen grabbed his arm and threw him to the ground like a child. The bodyguard was thrown to the ground, and the secretary was furious. "That's right, who is this bodyguard? This is her lover. What are you doing? Governor Lee, is this your way of entertaining guests?" The secretary looked at Governor Lee angrily, because the incident happened suddenly, and Governor Lee, who came from a military background, didn't react. When he reacted, the bodyguard had been pressed to the ground by Jiang Chen and couldn't move. "Do you still think I'm a kid now?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun stopped. Yes, his bodyguard was an elite from the special forces. He didn't expect that he would be knocked down by a kid in an instant. This instantly aroused Director Sun's interest. This little brother is quite skilled. "Okay, then I'll give you 2 minutes. I'm telling you, just 2 minutes. If you don't accept me in 2 minutes, I'll have to leave." After Director Sun finished speaking, he stopped. Jiang Chen let go of the bodyguard. Director Sun's secretary hurriedly reached out and pulled him up. The bodyguard still looked unconvinced after being pulled up, but he didn't dare to move in front of Director Sun. Mojiang has to relocate because of the invasion of desert. If the desert next to Mojiang is controlled, does Mojiang still need to relocate? Haha, then of course there is no need to relocate. However, the desert is now a global problem. Even experts in the United States have not figured out the reasons for the drastic changes in the Sahara desert, let alone blocking the wind and sand. So, little brother, I blocked the wind and sand. You can watch this video. I think Director Sun will be very interested. Jiang Chen clicked on a video. After he finished speaking, the video showed an endless grassland with patches of green grass that seemed to be dripping with water. Where was this filmed? 100 kilometers west of Mojiang County. By the way, I also built a scenic spot here. I see your eyes are red. You must not have slept well these 2 days. My lawn can promote people's sleep. Director Sun, do you want to go and have a look? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief and said, "You said you planted grassland in the Sahara desert? How is this possible? Our desert management bureau spent so much money and couldn't grow a single tree. How could you grow so much lawn?" "Oh, I not only grew grass, but I also planted tens of thousands of acres of trees. Are you free to have a look now, Director Sun?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he clicked on the video of the desert golden apricot scenic area. Director Sun was completely conquered by the tall desert golden apricots. Zhang, cancel the tonight meeting. Buy me a ticket to Mojiang. I want the nearest flight. The moment he was conquered, Director Sun was ecstatic. That's right, no one knew better than him what it meant to grow grass in the desert. If all this was true, then the desert problem that had plagued China's top leaders would be completely solved. Director, the evening will be very. Am I the director, or are you the director? Yes, I'll book it right away. The secretary lowered his head and gritted his teeth to book the tickets. He had not taken a few steps when Governor Lee shouted to them, "Director Sun, I have arranged the tickets. The plane will take off in 20 minutes. Let's get on the plane." After Governor Lee finished speaking, he led Director Sun towards the boarding gate. That's right, in order to save Mojiang this time, Governor Lee decided to personally accompany Director Sun to the desert to take a look, and Jiang Chen had already made preparations. He knew that, in order to completely gain the support of Shangjing and completely solve the problem that his desert products could not be sold in China, he could only rely on Director Sun and Governor Lee from the Desert Management Bureau who came from Shangjing. Governor Lee took Director Sun to Fangjin Airport. When Governor Lee and his team boarded the plane, Jiang Chen did not choose to fly back with them. He chose to drive back because the road from Washi to Mojiang was a highway, and because of the desert, there were few cars on the road. He drove very fast and did not have to worry about speeding. Therefore, even if they drove, they would not be much later than Governor Lee and his team. Back to the hotel, the two drove the Mercedes-Benz G-Class out of the city. The car drove out of Washi and quickly got on the highway. When they arrived in Mojiang, it was already afternoon. The sky in Mojiang in the afternoon was blue and charming. Governor Lee and Director Sun had already arrived in Mojiang County. They had visited the new bonded area next to Fangjin Airport accompanied by Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Guo. Governor Lee was very satisfied with this plane. In the future, as long as Jiang Chen worked hard and his company was built, the Mojiang bonded area would definitely not be worse than the Gannan New area. Chapter 137 Granny Liu enters the city. After Governor Lee and his party visited Mojiang New District, Jiang Chen also rushed to Mojiang County. Governor Lee and his party took the government bus and rushed to Mojiang County. When they arrived at Mojiang County, it was almost evening. The desert was blowing sandstorms. Jiang Chen smelled the dust when the wind blew. It's mid-May. It looks like the Sahara storm month is coming. Jiang Chen looked at the seemingly calm desert in the distance and couldn't help but sigh. He didn't know if the square sand wall he built could block the wind and sand in May, but who cares? Let's take Governor Lee to visit his grassland first. Dear leaders, today we will take you to visit my desert grassland. Please get in the car. We must rush to the desert grassland scenic area before the sunset. Then we can watch the sunset over the grassland. Jiang Chen started his Mercedes-Benz as he spoke. The G-Class can only accommodate 5 people. Jiang Chen drove the car himself. The governor and Director Sun sat in the back seat. In the distance, Ma Wenji and Guo Keming sat in Guan Ku's Mercedes-Benz S8300. That's right, this Mercedes-Benz of young Master Meng was given to Guan Ku by Jiang Chen. After several people got in the car, Director Sun's secretary and bodyguard wanted to get in too. Jiang Chen looked at them and shouted, "Sorry, the car is full. You guys wait in Mojiang." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the bodyguard shouted to Director Sun, "Director Sun, I have to be close to you. Before the bodyguard could finish his words, Jiang Chen stepped on the accelerator and drove the Mercedes-Benz G straight to the Bermuda scenic area. Inside the car, Governor Lee saw that Director Sun's bodyguard was abandoned on the side of the road by Jiang Chen. He said embarrassedly, "Don't worry, Director Sun. This Zhao Jiang is very capable. With Zhao Jiang here, we don't have to worry." After Governor Lee finished speaking, Director Sun nodded. The bodyguard had been abandoned on the side of the road, and it would be useless for him to say anything more. "Director Sun, look here. This area will be the old Mojiang development zone of the Mojiang Free Trade Zone in the future. Melon seed factories, rose processing factories, and Jinshao apricot processing factories will be built here. By the way, there will be travel companies here in the future. As long as you say hello to Shangjing, the annual tax revenue of this development zone will start from 10 billion yuan in the future." When the car passed the dilapidated development zone beside the Mojiang highway, Governor Lee did not forget to introduce it to Director Sun. Director Sun closed his eyes slightly. He didn't care about this, and he was now very suspicious of whether what Jiang Chen said was true or false. As far as he knew, all countries have invested heavily in researching plants that can be grown in the desert, but at present, no scientific research institution dares to say that they have succeeded. The desert is ahead, and the car may be a little bumpy. "Director Sun, please sit tight." Governor Lee couldn't help but remind him as he saw that he was getting farther and farther away from Mojiang. That's right, the survival of Mojiang in the future depends entirely on the little old man in front of him. "Don't worry, Governor Lee. The road ahead will be more stable than here." Jiang Chen smiled. After all, the road ahead was Highway 1. Highway 1 was the most advanced road in the world. Cars running on it were more stable than high-speed trains. Question mark? How is that possible? How can the road in the desert be good? Young man, you said that the grassland is more than 200 kilometers away from here. Can Manager Guan drive into such a far desert with a Mercedes-Benz? After Director Sun finished speaking, Governor Lee also showed doubt. Yes, they were all senior officials. The area ahead was not under his control. What if there were others inside? "Don't worry, they will catch up with us soon." Jiang Chen stepped on the accelerator as he spoke. The Mercedes-Benz G-Class rumbled towards Highway 1 like a rocket. In less than 3 minutes, the car stopped next to the gas station at the entrance of Highway 1. "Governor Lee, wait a minute. I'm going to fill up my tank first." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee turned his head and looked out the window. A huge gas station appeared on the roadside in front of him. Looking at the super gas station with more than 70 gas pumps, even the well-informed Governor Lee opened his eyes in surprise. How can there be such a large gas station in this desert? After Governor Lee finished speaking, Director Sun, who had his eyes slightly closed, also opened his eyes. Jiang Chen had already parked the car. Director Sun looked out the window. Outside the window, rows of gas pumps were parked with cars refueling. There was not even a single empty seat next to the huge gas station. How can this be? He knew the desolation of the desert. Until he got in the car, Director Sun regretted coming to Mojiang. But looking at everything in front of him, he was really surprised. That's right, even the gas stations in Beijing were not so exaggerated. "Let's go down and take a look." Director Sun was about to open the car door and get out. Jiang Chen had already got in the car. He looked at the two people and said, "There's nothing to see. This is the gas station I run. Let's get on the road. If we leave now, we can just reach the desert before sunset." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun closed the car door. Jiang Chen filled up the gas and stepped on the accelerator to get on Highway 1. The bumpy feeling disappeared instantly after the car got on Highway 1. Governor Lee saw an 8-lane superhighway appear in a piece of yellow sand. He looked at Jiang Chen in surprise and asked, "Who built this road?" "I built it." "What do you think, Governor Lee? This road is not bad, right?" When did this happen?" Governor Lee couldn't believe what was happening before his eyes. Director Sun in the car looked at the desert giant saguaro cacti on both sides of the road and screamed, giant saguaro cactus. How could there be desert giant saguaro cactus here? Stop the car, let me take a look." The rows of giant cacti in the desert completely aroused Director Sun's curiosity. Jiang Chen sighed. Although he came from Beijing, he was still like a child who had never been to the city in front of Jiang Chen. Let's go directly to the desert grassland. These cacti are nothing to see, Jiang Chen said. He stepped on the accelerator, and the speed quickly reached more than 200 yards. Less than a minute after the car drove, a majestic checkpoint blocked the road in front. Jiang Chen slowly slowed down. When the two saw Jiang Chen began to slow down, they hurriedly withdrew their eyes from the giant cacti on the roadside. Why slow down? After Governor Lee finished speaking, he saw the toll checkpoint in front of him. From a distance, he could see the gold-plated words on the checkpoint. Sahara welcomes you. After the car stopped, more than a dozen fully armed special warfare soldiers came over with guns. Seeing that there were soldiers in the non-control area, Director Sun became nervous. He looked at Governor Lee and asked anxiously, "Is this your new province's troops?" "No, it's not." Governor Lee was also stunned. "What's going on?" "Jiang Chen, what do you mean?" "We came here out of kindness." The two people looked at Jiang Chen and became nervous. Jiang Chen waved his hand and said, "It's okay, it's okay." A soldier walked to the front of the car. He saluted first and then said, "Sir, routine inspection, please wait a moment." After the soldier finished speaking, Jiang Chen rolled down the window and said, "Thank you for your hard work. There are distinguished guests inside. No need to check." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the soldier recognized Jiang Chen. He saluted hurriedly and shouted, "Hello, Chief." Jiang Chen nodded. The soldier waved his hand behind him. Soon the roadblock was opened. After the roadblock was opened, Jiang Chen drove towards the lane at the edge. Just as he passed the toll station, a bus whizzed past. The bus just slowed down slightly at the toll station, and the gate of the toll station opened. Then the bus rushed towards Mojiang. This, Zio Jiang, what's going on? Chapter 138 Taking over the unfinished building. In the Mercedes-Benz, Governor Lee looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. He thought the grassland built by Jiang Chen was just a piece of green grass. He didn't expect that there were not only gas stations but also highways. Not only highways, but even troops. What's the difference between this place and a base? When Jiang Chen heard Governor Lee's question, he smiled and said, "Governor Lee, don't be afraid. I invited these brothers to protect the safety of the grassland. You know this is an unmanaged area. I have invested so much money here. If I don't find some brothers to look after it, my grassland would have been taken away by others long ago." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee breathed a sigh of relief, but he immediately asked, "What was that bus used for?" "It's a shuttle bus. All the employees I hired are college students in Yi City. Many of them have to go home at night, so I opened a free shuttle bus to Yi City for them." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, when Governor Lee heard that Jiang Chen hired college students from Yi City, he couldn't help but nodded and said, "That's good, that's good. Yi City needs corporate level support like you." At this moment, Governor Lee looked at Jiang Chen and no longer had the feeling of looking at a younger brother. In fact, in his heart, he had already made Jiang Chen equal to himself. "The students you hired? It's so far from Yi City, how could they be willing to come here?" Director Sun couldn't help but ask. After Director Sun finished speaking, Jiang Chen smiled and said, "I pay them well, with a monthly salary of 5,000, including food and accommodation. If they plan to settle down in Mojiang, I will allocate housing for them. Everyone will have a small home with 2 bedrooms and a living room. In addition, the year-end bonus starts at 50,000, with no upper limit." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun couldn't help but sigh. "So high. The economy is in recession now. Even college students in Beijing may not have such good treatment. What's more, there are fewer and fewer companies that allocate housing now." After Director Sun finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Indeed, it is rare to see companies that allocate housing now, but he is different. The houses in Mojiang are so cheap that they are almost given away for free, and there are more than a dozen unfinished buildings in Mojiang. Jiang Chen is just about to find an opportunity to buy them and continue to build them to distribute to employees. So thinking of this, Jiang Chen looked at Governor Lee in the rear view mirror and said, Governor Lee, speaking of houses, I just happen to have something to ask you. I have more than 2,000 employees, and the houses I bought in Mojiang are not enough to go to them. I want to take over more than a dozen unfinished real estate projects in Mojiang. Do you think it's okay? Unfinished real estate projects in Mojiang? Yes, the desert is here. Mojiang companies have closed down, and most of the people in Mojiang have moved away. The houses can't be sold. Those half-built real estate projects are unfinished, and the bosses have run away. I was thinking, since no one is building them anyway, why not sell them to me at the original price, and I will develop them into employee buildings, and then distribute them to my employees for free, so that graduates of New South University can stay in Yi City and make contributions. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee nodded and said, it's a good thing. As long as it is beneficial to the people, you can tell me. Also, I have to ask, the interests of students must be guaranteed. It's not enough to just pay wages now. We must pay 5 insurances, and 1 fund for them. Zio Jiang. Governor Lee always cares about the interests of students. Jiang Chen smiled. That's right, why doesn't he protect the interests of employees? Don't worry, Governor Lee. They have all the 5 social insurances, and 1 housing fund. By the way, all of them are paid in full by Mojiang County. If Governor Lee is worried, he can go to the Mojiang Social Security Bureau to ask. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee was relieved. His good impression of Jiang Chen became stronger and stronger. Not only him, but even Director Sun of the Sand Management Bureau also looked at the young man in front of him with new eyes. Zhao Jiang, are you interested in recruiting graduates from Shangjing? It happens that my friend is in charge of this area in Shangjing, and he is worried about the employment rate of graduates every day. Seeing that Jiang Chen's treatment was so good, and Jiang Chen really managed the desert in an orderly manner, Director Sun couldn't help but recommend his own talents. After Director Sun finished speaking, Governor Lee coughed and said, well, Director Sun, ours in province can still supply employees for the time being. I will say hello to the employment office of colleges and universities later. Excellent graduates from ours in province will be recommended to work in Mojiang Free Trade Zone first. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Director Sun was a little embarrassed. Yes, the employment rate of colleges and universities is also a major part of the government assessment. It's okay. I will need a lot of employees in the future. By the way, Director Sun, you mentioned graduates. It just so happens that I have something to trouble you. I have a lot of employees here, but we don't have a hospital here, so I plan to invest in a hospital here. Can you ask your friends in Shangjing to help me recruit a group of excellent medical university graduates? Jiang Chen had the idea of opening a hospital a long time ago. A few days ago, during the rose picking season, many employees fell ill and delayed a lot of work. One of them hit his leg because of improper operation of the machine. When he was sent to Yi City Hospital, he had to be amputated because of the delay for too long, which made Jiang Chen feel very guilty. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun nodded hurriedly and said, leave it to me. I can't brag about other things, but I can at least recruit medical students for you to fill a hospital, and all of them will be from Peking Union Medical College. Jiang Chen was happy to hear that Director Sun could help him recruit students from Peking Union Medical College. He thanked him while driving. Thank you very much, Director Sun. Director Sun, you've saved my entire desert staff. If you need me in the future, just tell me. I will never shirk my responsibility. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun nodded, but then he said, however, Shangjing is not like Mojiang. The salary requirements for graduates of Shangjing Union Medical College are also high. I wonder how much salary Zhao Jiang can offer them? After Director Sun finished speaking, Jiang Chen held the steering wheel and drove very fast. Because it is the off-season for production in the desert, there are basically no cars on the road. I will recruit the best doctors, so the salary will definitely not be worse than Shangjing. I will give 10,000 yuan a month to medical undergraduates, and a guaranteed year-end bonus of 60,000 yuan. Masters will receive 30,000 yuan a month, with a guaranteed year-end bonus of 100,000 yuan. Doctors will receive 100,000 yuan a month, with a guaranteed bonus of 500,000 yuan. Medical backbone experts and leaders will receive 200,000 yuan a month, with a guaranteed bonus of 1 million yuan. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun became excited. Yes, if this is the treatment, he can really recruit a large number of students from the ZIE University. You know, the students of ZIE University are excellent students ranked in the whole of China. Although the positions in hospitals and various places are saturated now, the students of ZIE University are in great demand. Moreover, the country now encourages talents to go to the countryside and the grassroots, and many medical students have responded to the call to work in the countryside. The salary in the countryside is more than 5,000 yuan in good places and more than 3,000 yuan in bad places. At Jiang Chen's place, the starting annual salary for undergraduates is 300,000 yuan, 700,000 yuan for masters, and 1.5 million yuan for doctors. This will definitely attract a large number of people. Okay, I'll take care of it. By the way, can you pay for the 5 social insurances and 1 housing fund? Yes, I'll pay for their 5 social insurances and 1 housing fund in Mojiang County just like all my employees. In addition, I'll allocate housing for them in Mojiang. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun said excitedly, Okay, your treatment is good. I have to tell you something in advance. My youngest daughter just got admitted to the Peking Union Medical College this year. You have to reserve a place for her in advance. After Director Sun finished speaking, Jiang Chen smiled. Don't worry, my position as attending physician will be reserved for her. Chapter 139 A Wonderful Feeling. Jiang Chen suggested that Director Sun's youngest daughter be the attending physician. Director Sun hurriedly shook his head and said, Zhao Jiang, this won't work. Whether she can be an attending physician depends on her own ability. You can't give me face. Otherwise, if she makes a mistake, it will ruin your hospital's reputation. After Director Sun finished speaking, the 3 of them laughed. Governor Li saw that Jiang Chen was still planning to open a hospital, so he also said, Zhao Jiang, ours in Province Medical University is not bad. If you want to open a hospital, you must find some graduates for me. I tell you, this is my task for you. After Governor Li finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Even if he didn't need so many doctors, he had to give Governor Li this face. Don't worry, Governor Li, I want all the outstanding graduates from ours in Province Medical University. Even if we can't fit them in 1 hospital, I will open 2 hospitals. If we can't fit them in 2 hospitals, I will open 3. I will never let our outstanding students leave Zin province. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Li nodded with satisfaction. The car continued to drive in the desert. Highway 1 was as stable as Jiang Chen said. Governor Li and Director Sun felt very comfortable in the car, so comfortable that they didn't even notice it until they arrived at the grassland scenic area. When they arrived at the grassland scenic area, the sunset was already hanging on the sand dunes in the distance. The fire clouds were thick. The sky was connected to the end of the endless Bermuda grassland, which was very spectacular. This is simply a miracle. The moment they got off the car, looking at the rolling grassland in front of them, smelling the fragrance of the grass, and looking at the dreamy fire clouds, Governor Li and Director Sun were shocked. In the desert grassland, they instantly felt so small. The insignificance of human beings in nature made them both in awe. Zhao Jiang, is this grassland real? Director Sun said as he walked to the edge of a Bermuda grass. He reached out and touched the emerald green Bermuda grass. The grass was very tender and soft. As soon as his hand touched it, he felt an unusually cool feeling on his hand. This grass feels so comfortable. After Director Sun finished speaking, Governor Li also reached out and touched the lawn. Indeed, this grass really made him feel cool. What kind of grass is this? Why does it feel a little cold? Also, it's so hot outside the desert. How come it feels like spring when you enter this grassland? Governor Li had never had such a wonderful feeling. After he finished speaking, even Director Sun shouted, Yes. What's going on? The temperature in the desert is at least not less than 30 degrees now. Why does it feel only a dozen degrees here? As an old man who has studied the desert for decades, Director Sun was completely conquered. Haha, this is the charm of my grassland. To be honest, there are many magical things in my grassland. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee looked at Jiang Chen with a mysterious look on his face and asked, "Are there any other magical things? It's very cool to lie on it during the day and very warm at night. Moreover, lying on my grass will make you forget all your worries and have a good sleep. When you wake up, you will be radiant." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee and Director Sun both looked unconvinced. You know, at their age, they are already past the age of dreaming, and they sleep very little. Moreover, due to various pressures, it is good to sleep for 3 hours a day. Even if they sleep for 3 hours, the sleep quality is very poor. Therefore, Governor Lee looks extremely old in his 50s. Of course, Director Sun is no exception. So when they heard that this grass can promote sleep, they were a little unconvinced. Seeing that Governor Lee and Director Sun didn't believe him, Jiang Chen smiled and said, "Let's camp on this grassland today. Governor Lee, don't worry. There are no mosquitoes on this grassland. You will definitely sleep comfortably." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee hurriedly shook his head and said, "That won't work. That won't work. Such precious grass that can grow in the desert is a treasure. How can I sleep on it? You know, these are the barriers that prevent his new province from being swallowed by the desert. As a governor, he must take the lead in protecting them." "That's right. Such precious grass, we don't even have time to protect it. How can we trample on it?" Director Sun also said it. Jiang Chen smiled and said nothing. The sun gradually set in the west. Several people were very comfortable blowing the cool breeze of the grassland. Governor Lee saw that there were roads built on the grassland. He was very curious about where the road led to, so Jiang Chen prepared to take them to the end of the road to see. As he spoke, the three people got in the car and drove straight to the end of the grassland. "Wow, is that a river there? Impossible. How can there be a river in the desert? But it looks like a reed marsh." Jiang Chen looked out the window, and in the distance a large white river meandered like a white silk ribbon across a large green grassland. "Director Sun, that's a river. Let me take you to see it." Jiang Chen turned the steering wheel and drove into the grassland. Seeing this, the two hurriedly shouted, "No, don't crush the grass. Indeed, the desert is the most ruthless. How easy is it for each blade of grass to grow? How can they tolerate others trampling on them? Although this is an unmanagement area, it is not their responsibility." Haha, Director Sun, Governor Lee, your task today is to have fun here, and don't worry about anything else. And this grass will not die, because we trample on it. On the contrary, the more we trample on it, the more it grows. This is grass. Although grass is small, it is indeed one of the most tenacious lives in the world. The wild grass can't be burned out, it will grow again with the spring breeze. For some reason, Director Sun suddenly remembered this ancient poem. Seeing that Jiang Chen was so persistent, the two of them didn't insist anymore. The G-class crossed the grass hills and came to the riverside of the grassland. Governor Lee and Director Sun looked at the gurgling river and were surprised, as if they were dreaming. Today they were finally completely conquered by Jiang Chen. In their eyes, Jiang Chen at this moment was like a god, an omnipotent god, and a god who dared to step on the death desert. Director Sun even thought that Jiang Chen was the savior of their human race. How can there be such a wide river in the desert? How did you build it? The cool breeze blew on the shore. Director Sun finally came back to his senses from the miracle in front of him. He looked at Jiang Chen. He couldn't wait to know the answer, but Jiang Chen shook his head. Yes, this is a secret. He will not tell anyone, including his closest people. He will keep it secret. I'm sorry, this is a secret. I really can't tell you. Please forgive me. Chapter 140. This is simply a miracle of the world. On the grassland, Director Sun saw that Jiang Chen refused to tell the origin of the river, and then he laughed, as if he remembered something. Yes, I'm abrupt. This is simply a miracle of the world. You have this research result and you must not tell anyone casually. Little brother, can you sell this technology to us? Sorry, I really can't sell this. Jiang Chen was a little embarrassed. How could he sell this thing? Should he sell the mobile phone to them? Ahem. That, director son, Xiao Jiang also has his own difficulties. Besides, this is someone else's patent, and they have to rely on this to feed thousands of workers, so, let's understand, I understand. Xiao Jiang, it's really not easy for you to have such a great invention at such a young age. Now the world is suffering from the trouble of deserts. You have this technology, and you can become the richest man in the world, just by selling this grass seeds in the future. After director son finished speaking, Jiang Chen smiled awkwardly. This is not a patent at all. This is just something grown by a mobile phone. But if you said so, would director son and others mistake him for a lunatic? Well, let's not talk about them. I'm afraid I'll think I'm crazy. If that's the case, why not let it become a patent in the eyes of the people? I don't dare to be the richest man in the world. To be honest, this kind of grass is very expensive. The investment for 1 square meter of grass is no less than 2,000 yuan. So even if I open a scenic spot, I don't know when I can get my money back. Jiang Chen finished speaking. When he heard that 1 square meter of grass cost 2,000 yuan, Governor Lee looked at the boundless grassland. He didn't know how to say it. If he said that Jiang Chen was the richest man in the world, I'm afraid no one would object. However, Jiang Chen only had such a piece of grass, and he really couldn't turn them into real benefits. 2,000 per square meter? How much money do you have to invest in such a large grassland? Governor Lee couldn't help asking. Jiang Chen smiled and said, This is a secret. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee also smiled tactfully. Is this water drinkable? Director son walked to the river and asked. The river in front of him was very deep, but the clear river water could see the bottom of the water. It's drinkable. This is definitely the cleanest water in the world. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and director son reached out and scooped up a handful of water. The water was extremely cold. Director son took a sip and found that the water was actually somewhat sweet. Well, it's really not polluted at all. This water reminds me of the river water in my hometown when I was a child. Although life was hard back then, the river water was clear and sweet like fine wine. Director son finished speaking, and he gulped down a big sip and threw the rest of the water back into the river. In the evening, the car drove in the sunset. The sunset faded and night fell. Jiang Chen parked the car in front of a yurt. The three of them decided to camp on the desert grassland at night. Dinner was simple. Jiang Chen cooked noodles in the solar pot he brought with him. He set up a pot by the river and cooked a pot of noodles with river water. After the noodles were cooked, Jiang Chen sprinkled chopped green onions, and a scent of noodles floated over the grassland. Ah, it smells so good. A few people were about to eat the noodles when a Mercedes-Benz car drove over from a distance. The car stopped by the river with a puff. Mayor and County Magistrate Guo jumped out of the car in a hurry. They saw Governor Lee eating noodles in the night and breathed a sigh of relief. Mayor, I told you that it will be fine. As long as you enter the desert, you will be blessed by the desert god and nothing will happen. Guan Ku parked the car, opened the door, and shouted at Mayor Ma. Governor Lee saw that Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Guo were sweating in a hurry. He pointed to the pot and said, Old Ma, Xiao Guo, don't worry. Xiao Jiang is here. Nothing will happen to us. By the way, we just cooked noodles. Before Governor Lee finished speaking, Director Sun put down the spoon awkwardly. That's right, he had just finished a bowl of noodles and was about to get more. No, we are not hungry. Director Sun, you eat. After Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Guo finished talking, Director Sun picked up the spoon and said, then I will eat first. To be honest, I have eaten all kinds of delicious delicacies from mountains and seas, but these noodles are really different from them. As Director Sun spoke, Governor Lee looked at the empty bowl in his hand and swallowed his saliva. That's right, he was used to eating big fish and meat every day like Director Sun, and he didn't expect that the noodles boiled in desert water would be so delicious. After eating a bowl, he still wanted to eat more. Moreover, for some reason, their hearts became broad on the grassland, as if now except eating, everything else was thrown out of their minds. Well, does Xiao Jiang have any noodles? After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at the empty pot. He hurriedly put down his bowl and chopsticks and said, "Yes, yes." Jiang Chen ran to the car and took out a few handfuls of noodles. As soon as he took the noodles, Director Sun looked at the noodles in Jiang Chen's hand and said, "It would be perfect if there were 2 more eggs." After Director Sun finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at the car. It was really amazing that he saved 2 eggs. Yes, there are exactly 2 eggs. Jiang Chen took the eggs that fell on the corner of the car. He brought this pot and eggs with him. After all, when he was farming in the desert, he sometimes worked for a whole day and night, so he just cooked some noodles to make do. At the riverside, Guan Ku went to fetch water. While the solar pot still had electricity, several people gathered around the pot to cook noodles. Before the noodles were cooked, Director Sun and Governor Lee had already finished the noodles in their bowls. The bowl was very small, only the size of a palm, and a grown man could eat 5 or 6 bowls without any problem. Hey, looking at these noodles suddenly reminds me of the time when I was in the army. At that time, we slept outdoors every day, and we often cooked noodles with river water. I really miss it. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Director Sun couldn't help but nodded and said, "Yes, this also reminds me of the time when I was in the geological team. At that time, we often ate like this in the wild. It has been more than 10 years. Hey, time really waits for no one. In the blink of an eye, we are all old." By the river, the wind blew from the river surface, and the round moon climbed to the middle of the mountain slope. The surroundings were very quiet, with only the sound of floating grass. Several people ate noodles and talked about the past, and they couldn't help but open the chatterbox. The more they talked, the more intimate they became, and the more they talked, the more they felt that they were like family members to each other. Hey, if we can have a glass of wine now, we can put our work aside, drink and chat, and be a hermit. Governor Lee suddenly regretted not bringing a bottle of wine. Speaking of wine, Jiang Chen suddenly thought of the boxes of maute that the car owner had put for him in the trunk, and he was immediately delighted. "There is wine. There is wine," Jiang Chen said, ran to the back of the car, opened 2 bottles of Fishan maute, and took a few disposable cups from the car and ran over. Seeing the wine, Governor Lee and Director Sun were happy. Director Sun reached out to take a bottle of wine and said, "I haven't drunk for a few years. I'm happy today, and I want to have some. Come on, let's put aside our status today and relive the dream of our youth." After Governor Lee finished speaking, he reached out and called Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Guo over. Several people shared the cups and ate noodles while tasting the wine. Time passed slowly, and the round moon moved above their heads. It was the first time that Jiang Chen drank so much wine. Several people just lay on the grass and fell asleep with the moonlight as their pillows. Chapter 141, The Most Awesome Grassland Sanatorium. On the grassland, it was already noon when everyone woke up. When they opened their eyes, the sky was blue. Director Sun looked at the sky and thought he was dreaming. He couldn't help laughing and said, "Why is the sky in Shangjing so blue?" As he spoke, Director Sun smelled the aroma of barbecue. His stomach growled. He sat up smartly. After sitting up, he realized that he was not dreaming. How did I sleep for so long? Director Sun stretched his body after speaking. It's true that he hadn't slept so well for several years. So when he woke up, Director Sun felt full of strength. Not only him, but also Governor Lee. "Yes, I don't know how many years I haven't slept so well. It seems that I have forgotten all my worries in this sleep. It's so comfortable." After Governor Lee finished speaking, he looked up at the blue sky. There were a few white clouds floating in the blue sky, and the green grass under the white clouds seemed to make them feel like they were in a green world. Governor Lee, what's wrong with you? Governor Lee looked at the blue sky, white clouds and green grass. He suddenly slapped his head hard. He just slapped twice, which scared Mayor Ma and County Magistrate Guo. They hurried over and grabbed Governor Lee's arm. "Ouch, it really hurts. It's okay, I was dazed just now. I thought I was dreaming, so I checked it." After Governor Lee finished speaking, he laughed like a child. That's right, he has been living in Urumqi for so many years. Although Urumqi is not too close to the desert, when the wind and sand blow, Urumqi has not seen such a blue sky for a few times a year. Governor Lee, you're awake. I just asked Manager Guan to get some meat from the supermarket at the gas station. Come and try it. Jiang Chen handed over a few slices of barbecue as he spoke. Governor Lee and the others couldn't help, but sigh as they ate the barbecue and smelled the pure air. Zio Jiang, your grassland is truly a paradise. I really want to live here, grazing cattle and sheep every day, eating some barbecue, drinking some wine, and then lying on your lawn at night to have a good sleep. I feel so happy just thinking about it. Yes. The desert is so windy that you can't see blue sky and white clouds in Kyoto. The air here is still good. It feels like the air here can cleanse our lungs and make us feel ethereal. I usually gasp for air, but after coming to this grassland I haven't gasped for air at all. Me too. I always cough. Coming here and breathing the fresh air here, my cough has eased a lot. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen didn't even realize that the air converted by this expensive Bermuda lawn actually had this function. Zio Jiang, you should open a sanatorium in the future. I guarantee that those rich people will not want to leave if they live here every day. After Mayor Ma finished speaking, Jiang Chen thought, yes, why didn't he think of opening a sanatorium? When he built the ranch, he planted 10,000 acres of grass seeds. Although the 10,000 acres of land were on the grassland ranch, a circle of desert giant cactus was built separately, which just separated the ranch from the world. More importantly, the 10,000 acres of land were only more than 30 miles away from the Bermuda scenic area, and it took only 10 minutes to drive to the Bermuda Outer Ring Road. Wouldn't this piece of land be just right for building a grassland sanatorium? Thinking of this, Jiang Chen looked at Mayor Ma and said, I have the same idea, but I don't know many wealthy people, so I haven't built it, because I don't have customers. Then build it. Once it's built, I will support you and introduce you to some customers. When Governor Lee heard that Jiang Chen also had this idea, he hurriedly said it. Yes, he knew a lot of wealthy businessmen, and many of these wealthy businessmen were in poor health. If they could come here for recuperation, wouldn't they be able to live many more years? If they live longer, they can continue to invest in the new province, which is beneficial to the people. Not to mention them, even Governor Lee wants to come here to live for a while from time to time, so that his old cough and back pain can be relieved a lot. That's right. As long as you build it, I promise to introduce enough customers to you. There are many old leaders in our unit who are in poor health and live in sanatoriums, but the sanatoriums in Beijing can't compare with here. And you don't have to worry about the money. Their sanatorium expenses are fully reimbursed by the state. After Director Sun finished speaking, he also expressed his support. He was looking forward to Jiang Chen building this sanatorium as soon as possible. When he retired, he would come to support Jiang Chen without saying a word. No, not to support Jiang Chen, but to support his own life. That's good. Then I will invest in a sanatorium. It happens that the two leaders can help me introduce doctors and clients. In return, my sanatorium will prepare two small buildings for the two leaders. When you retire in the future, you can come directly. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and the two hurriedly shook their heads and said, no, we are public officials. How can we ask for your things privately? If you are willing, do it well, and we will spend our own money to live here in the future. The two people finished speaking righteously, and Jiang Chen nodded. He knew that Governor Lee and Director Sun were both upright people, and it would be futile for him to talk more, so he looked at Governor Lee and Director Hu and said, then I thank the two leaders very much. That's more like it. The two laughed after they finished speaking. After eating some barbecue at noon, Jiang Chen got in the car and took them to the Bermuda scenic area. The car drove south from the central avenue of the grassland scenic area. In less than half an hour, it arrived at the border of the grassland scenic area. After passing through a desert giant column cactus, the car drove into a 10,000 acre grassland that had just sprouted. Governor Lee, I'm going to build a sanatorium on this land. Once the grass is planted, it will grow back in less than half a year. There are more than 10,000 acres of land here, which is equivalent to the area of a university. Once it is built, it can accommodate at least 20,000 to 30,000 patients. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Lee looked out the window and nodded. Yes, this place is so close to the ranch, and the air is naturally fresh. It's a very good place. If you want to build it, start early, but I don't know if you can build a house on such a sand dune. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at the sand outside the window and said, "It can be built. When grass is planted here in the future, the desert will become fertile land. However, at present, we can only build a 3 or 4 story wooden villa. It is definitely impossible to build a high-rise building with dozens of floors." Jiang Chen drove quickly to the Bermuda scenic spot while talking. He couldn't waste any time now. Governor Lee and Director Sun had to return to Urumqi in the afternoon, so he had to use the limited time to introduce all his scenic spots to the two of them so that he could maximize the support of the two bosses. Wow, what's that over there? Governor Lee saw a patch of green grass in the yellow sand not long after the car entered the outer ring road. The grass was covered with tall plants with flower buds. Oh, that patch, that is desert poppies. They haven't bloomed yet. When they bloom, these tens of thousands of acres of desert poppies will become the most beautiful scenic spot in the desert. Chapter 142, The Most Powerful Spokesperson. Looking at a large area of desert poppies, Director Sun looked at Jiang Chen in surprise and asked, "Xiao Jiang, how many kinds of seeds that can be planted in the desert do you have?" "Not many, just a few, but other seeds are already under research. I really can't give you the technology. Really can't. But when the time is right, I think I should sell some seeds to you." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Director Sun saw that Jiang Chen had agreed, so he said happily, okay, if Xiao Jiang wants to sell seeds in the future, you must call me in advance. I'll ask my secretary to leave you a number later." "Okay." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people wanted to get off the car to see the desert poppies. Jiang Chen shook his head and said, "There's nothing to see here. Let's go to the next scenic spot." As Jiang Chen spoke, he drove directly towards the desert Jinshaoxing scenic area. When he arrived at the Jinshaoxing scenic area, Jiang Chen stopped the car. What he never expected was that the apricot flowers would bloom in just a few days. Yes, standing in the sun, Jiang Chen felt the warmth of the sun. Although May is midsummer in coastal areas, it is spring in Mojiang. Moreover, what surprised Jiang Chen even more was that all the apricot leaves that had grown had fallen off. At this moment, the tall golden longevity apricot tree was covered with clusters of bright red apricot flowers. Ah, this century-old apricot tree is alive. The moment Director Hu got out of the car, he looked at the endless sea of apricot flowers that appeared in front of him like an ocean. He was so surprised that he felt like he was dreaming. Governor Lee climbed up a hillside all the way. When he climbed to the top of the hillside, a blooming apricot tree on the top of the hillside stood proudly like a giant pink umbrella. Governor Lee stood on the top of the hillside. He looked at the tall sandhills in the distance, and the apricot trees dotted on the sandhills, which looked like huge red pom-poms. He was in a trance. Yes, people say that the fairyland is beautiful, but at this moment, Governor Lee felt that this place was even more beautiful than the fairyland. Ah. The steps are full of green grass and the apricot flowers are fragrant. I will die without regrets if I can see this scene in my life. After Governor Lee finished speaking, he shouted towards the valley in the distance, "It's a paradise on earth." His shouts echoed in the apricot blossom sea for a long time. Not only Governor Lee, but even Jiang Chen was stunned. 100-year-old apricot tree is beautiful enough. Can you imagine what it looks like when 100,000 acres of apricot flowers bloom? Even if it is said to be a paradise on earth, how can it compete with it? But, very good. Xiao Jiang, I'm completely conquered by you. I tell you, I will protect Mojiang even if I die. Director Sun didn't know how to describe his feelings at the moment. He only knew that his mood was difficult to calm down for a long time. Xiao Jiang, this paradise on earth must be developed well. I can't help you with anything. I will complete the road to Yi City Airport and high-speed rail for you in 1 month. After Ma finished speaking, Governor Lee had already returned from the sand dunes. At this moment, he was as carefree as an ancient hermit. Xiao Jiang, from now on, all your desert enterprises will be under my new province. As long as your Uncle Lee is alive, I will make sure that this paradise on earth will be the greatest glory of my new province. Governor Lee said excitedly. When Director Sun heard him, he suddenly realized something. Then he patted his chest and said, Mojiang is the last barrier of my country. From now on, my country will be your strong backing. Zhao Jiang, the things in the front will be left to you, and you can leave the rest to me and Laoli. After Director Sun finished speaking, Jiang Chen was also moved to the point of almost crying. Yes, he knew that if he wanted to conquer the desert, he would need countless money, and where would the money come from? He had to count on China. Only by selling the products produced in the desert continuously could he have a steady stream of money to build the desert, green the desert, and finally conquer the desert. On behalf of the employees of the desert, I thank the two elders for their support. Jiang Chen bowed deeply to the two people after he finished speaking, and the two people hurriedly helped Jiang Chen up. A car carrying Governor Li, Director Sun and others drove straight to the Crescent Bay scenic area through the pink apricot blossom sea. Jiang Chen did not take them to see the Millennium Apricot King. After all, they were in a hurry. When they arrived at the Crescent Lake scenic area, they got off the car and looked at a green land in the desert. They were not surprised. That's right, even if they saw a big lake in front of them, they became calm. After all, they have seen so many impossibilities. It seems that they can understand what big things are happening in front of them. The car stopped at the lake, and Governor Li got off the car. He stood by the lake and looked at the clear lake water. Suddenly, he felt like he was back to his childhood. At this moment, he wanted to jump in and take a good bath, but time has passed, and the youth will never come again. So, Governor Li, what do you think of this lake? Jiang Chen walked to Governor Li. Governor Li had already scooped up a mouthful of lake water and drank it. The lake water tasted sweet and delicious. After drinking it into his stomach, a refreshing coolness instantly moisturized his internal organs. The water in this lake is amazing. Having such a lake in the desert will definitely shock the world. Moreover, Zhao Jiang, I don't know how long it has been since I drank such sweet natural water. By the way, after drinking this water, I feel energetic and refreshed all over. Is it because the water has magical power, or because I feel so refreshed after arriving at the scenic spot? After Governor Li finished speaking, Mama, Director Sun and others also hurriedly scooped up a handful of water and drank it. After drinking, they stood by the lake and enjoyed the cool and refreshing water of Crescent Bay, and of course the feeling of cleansing the internal organs after the water went down their throats. Wow, it's water. It's the magic of water. After Director Sun finished speaking, Mama tasted the water carefully and said, Governor Li, I majored in water resource testing. This water must contain special minerals from the desert soil. Also, there is plenty of sunshine here, which can allow many microorganisms in the water to ferment quickly. So, we feel refreshed after drinking it because of the water. After Mama finished speaking, Governor Li's face lit up. Since the water in Crescent Bay has such effects, if he drinks it every day, wouldn't he become healthier and healthier? Thinking of this, Governor Li patted Jiang Chen's arm and said, Zhao Jiang, I suddenly have an idea. The water is so good, so why don't you build a water plant? Oh no, I don't mean that kind of tap water plant, but a bottled mineral water plant like Yabao. Also, this water will definitely be better for cooking and making soup. When the time comes, you can produce small bottles and large bottles together. Just by selling water, you can earn enough money to build a desert lawn. After Governor Li finished speaking, Mama and others also hurriedly suggested, yes, summer is about to come, and the bottled water market will definitely be very hot. If you can build a high-end mineral water plant, with the support of Governor Li and other leaders, are you still afraid that the mineral water market will not open up? Nowadays, high-end mineral water starts at more than 10 yuan. Their water is nothing compared to Jiang Chen's water. Yes, they are right. Those high-end waters on the market are said to contain this and that minerals. How can they be compared with the water from our desert super oasis and desert reeds? When Jiang Chen thought of this, he suddenly realized that it was worth inviting Governor Li today. Okay, since Governor Li and Mama have spoken, I will build a water plant and specialize in selling mineral water in the future. Governor Li, please give our mineral water a name. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Governor Li was also very happy. In the past, if someone asked him to name a brand, he would flatly refuse, but Jiang Chen was different. Jiang Chen water. Governor Lee was willing to let him endorse it. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143, Desert Mineral Water Factory. Speaking of naming the mineral water, Governor Lee looked at the rippling crescent bay in front of him. He thought carefully for a while and said, since this water is taken from Crescent Bay, let's just call it Crescent Bay Mineral Water. After Governor Lee finished speaking, a group of people hurriedly applauded. That's right, Crescent Bay Mineral Water. It sounds very poetic. And this is the mineral water named by the governor himself. This invisible advertisement is simply better than inviting any big star. Okay, it sounds good. Let's call it Crescent Bay Mineral Water. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people followed suit and praised, Crescent Bay Mineral Water is good. I will be the first to support it when the time comes. After several people finished speaking, Governor Lee looked at the yellow sand in the distance and suddenly shook his head and said, no, calling it Crescent Bay Mineral Water does not highlight the characteristics of the desert. By the way, let's call it Crescent Bay Sand Spring Water. This mineral water became Sand Spring Water. Although it was only a one-word difference, it just happened to highlight the characteristics of this water produced in the desert. Therefore, this word was enough to change the future of his mineral water. Okay, let's call it Crescent Bay Sand Spring Water. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Mama hurriedly said, Zio Jiang, this water plant must be built in Mojiang. Mama knew that after the water became more famous in the future, the water plant would make a lot of money, and if Jiang Chen built the water plant in the desert, they wouldn't be able to collect any taxes. After Mama finished speaking, Jiang Chen got a headache. He knew that he couldn't contradict Mama at this point, but if the water plant was built in Mojiang, could it still be authentic Sand Spring Water? No, the water plant cannot be built in Mojiang. However, if it is not built in Mojiang, Myanmar will not be able to collect taxes, and the relevant departments will not give qualified inspections. It is really difficult to deal with it. Jiang Chen had a headache when he thought of this. Seeing Jiang Chen's difficult expression, several people asked with concern, Zio Jiang, is there any inconvenience? Just tell us, and we will discuss and solve it together. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded and said, I want to build the Ui Bay water plant in Mojiang, but if the water plant is built in Mojiang, won't the water taste different? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, several people nodded. This is indeed a big problem. Just when several people were at a loss, Guan Ku suddenly shouted, Boss Jiang, I have a solution. Why don't we build the water source in the desert, and then build the water plant in Mojiang? And then connect it with pipes. After Guan Ku finished speaking, Jiang Chen suddenly realized it. That's right, why didn't he think of it? His desert is so close to the Mojiang Old Development Zone. Why doesn't he build a factory in the Mojiang Development Zone at the edge of the desert, and then build a brand new desert reed lake in the desert next to the factory? When the time comes, the two places will be directly connected by pipelines, so that the water source can be introduced into the old development zone factory through the pipeline for deep processing, and then packaged and shipped out of the factory. Isn't it the best of both worlds? Good idea, just do what Zio Guan said. Myanmar also reacted, and he applauded. That's right, as long as all of Jiang Chen's companies are built on his territory, then Zio Jiang's revenue will be counted as their lease at his GDP in the future. Moreover, you have to know that the taxes paid by these companies are enough to kill many large companies in Washi. After Governor Lee finished speaking, several people applauded, and Jiang Chen couldn't help but nodded. This promotion really deserves his annual salary of 500,000. Okay, then we'll do what the manager said. Jiang Chen finished speaking, and the matter of the Crescent Bay Shakwan water plant was truly resolved. After resolving the matter of the water plant, Jiang Chen and his men ran towards the distant Sea of Sunflowers. When they arrived at the Sea of Sunflowers, the sunflowers had not yet bloomed. Although the flower disk had grown, there was no sign of the flowers, so there was nothing to see here. After discussing the matter of the melon seed factory, they rushed towards the Sea of Roses. In the Sea of Roses, because the roses had been picked, the workers here had already gone home for the holiday. When they arrived, it was already noon. Before the car reached the scenic spot, they smelled the elegant rose fragrance. They were refreshed by the fragrance. Yes, Jiang Chen's roses had a refreshing effect, but hadn't he picked all the roses? What a nice smell. What kind of flower is this? Director Sun asked in the car. Jiang Chen shook his head and said, I don't know, it smells like roses, but the roses have all been picked. The car drove over a sand dune. The moment it passed the dune, everyone exclaimed, wow, what a spectacular sea of roses. That's right, on the other side of the sand dune is the endless French rose king flowers scenic area. At this moment, the huge roses in the scenic area are in full bloom, and the roses are red and green. They are blooming in the golden sunshine. It is really amazing. What's going on? Aren't the roses picked? Jiang Chen was a little surprised. After the car stopped, a group of people got off the car. Several people ran to the roses on the roadside with great interest. They looked at the bright red roses and smelled the elegant fragrance of the flowers. At this moment, they were all intoxicated. Zhao Jiang, you are amazing. So many roses are so beautiful. Also, the fragrance of these roses is light but not dissipated, which makes people clear their minds. That's right, I have never seen such a big rose. The color of this rose is really red to the bottom of people's hearts. Such roses are really rare in the world. Governor Lee, this is the French rose king flower. This flower costs tens of thousands of yuan. After Mayor Ma finished speaking, Governor Lee and others were all brightened up. That's right, this rose costs tens of thousands of yuan, and this endless rose will cost trillions. Really? If that's the case, then Jiang Chen is definitely the richest man in the world. After Governor Lee finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded bitterly and said, it's true, but although I make a lot of money, my expenses for growing things in the desert are indeed high. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people nodded in agreement. Indeed, they couldn't object. In the death desert, let alone growing things, it was a miracle for people to stay there for a day, let alone growing so many flowers and plants. Zhao Jiang, thank you for your hard work. You are greening the Sahara Desert, which is not only a contribution to our new province, but also a contribution to all mankind. One day, when you have greened the entire Sahara Desert, if I'm still alive at that time, I will personally bow to you to express my gratitude. After Li Sheng finished speaking, Jiang Chen hurriedly bowed and said, Governor Li, you are too polite. Greening the desert is my ambition and a dream that I must fulfill. If not for anything else, I have to grit my teeth and persevere for my parents who died in the desert. However, I know this road is not easy to walk, and I will have to rely on Governor Lee's support in the future. Several people talked about the important task of greening the desert in the Sea of Roses. They all felt the burden on their shoulders. They talked for a long time. Indeed, the problem of the desert has to be taken seriously. If we keep destroying the environment and trading the environment for GDP, then all that nature will leave us is endless death and desert. Chapter 144 Buying 10,000 cows. After leaving the Sea of Desert Roses, the few people were still reluctant to leave. Jiang Chen drove them to the end of Highway 1, where Director Sun's bodyguards and secretary had been waiting for a long time. In the afternoon, Director Sun of the Desert Management Bureau returned to Washi accompanied by Li Sheng. Mayor Ma also returned to Yishi, and County Magistrate Ji Yuo also returned to Mojiang. Jiang Chen suddenly became free, but speaking of free, he was not free at all. After all, he had promised Ji Yuo Keming so much, and now he had to fulfill them one by one. While there is still some money in the card, let's start a few urgent businesses first. Jiang Chen calculated that he still had 5.66 billion left in his pocket. If it was too much, it would not be enough to build a scenic spot, but if it was too little, he could still do a lot of things. It was just right to spend it before the sandstorm came. The development zone in Mojiang has not been completed yet, so I'll start building the ranch first. I don't care about the sandstorms. I don't believe that the sandstorms can bury the sheep. In the Mercedes-Benz, Jiang Chen thought of this and took out his mobile phone to call Fatty Wang. At this moment, Fatty Wang was in Washi with the financial officer of the Sahara Court to buy airplanes. Seeing Jiang Chen calling him, Fatty Wang hurriedly answered the phone. Hello, brother Chen, what's the matter? Jiang Chen heard the buzzing sound from the other end of the phone, which made his ears unable to hear anything. Jiang Chen couldn't help but shout, Fatty, what are you doing? Buying airplanes. Brother Chen, we are going to buy 10 old fighters, and they are being delivered now. After Fatty Wang shouted, Jiang Chen almost spurted blood. It's been decades since you bought an old fighter. Return it to me. Buy me a new fighter. If you don't have money, I will approve it for you. Bastards, are you driving an old fighter to make fun of me? No. Brother Chen, there is no signal in our desert, and all electronic equipment is unusable, so we asked them to convert them all to manual operation. However, the machine guns and missiles they are equipped with are all new models, and they are very powerful in fighting. After Fatty Wang finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. It was good to have planes. After all, if he didn't have some hard power to protect his scenic spot worth trillions, wouldn't he suffer a great loss if mercenaries came? That's good to be fierce. Fatty Wang, you leave the purchase of airplanes to the quartermaster department. Now I have an important task for you. Jiang Chen shouted into the phone. Fatty Wang heard it over the noise of the plane and asked curiously, Brother Chen, what do you want? Buy cattle and sheep. Within a week, buy me 10,000 calves and 10,000 lambs in the new province. Also, find me some herders who can raise sheep. I will give them high salaries. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang happily shouted into the phone, Brother Chen, I told you, mutton is rising in price now, and raising sheep will definitely make money. Brother Chen, transfer the money to me later, and I will go buy you a sheep now. After Fatty Wang finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded at Fatty Wang and sure enough, Fatty Wang, do you know what kind of sheep to buy? There are many types of sheep, including white goats, black goats, bull goats, sheep, etc. Different sheep have different uses, and the prices of different sheep are also different. I know that the grass in our grassland is very expensive, and our grass has a calming effect, so we must also raise sheep that are good for the body. I have thought about it for a long time. We will raise black goats. There are many black goat lambs in Qi province. Last time I asked, it seems that you can buy one for 350 yuan now. Brother Chen wants to buy 10,000, which is 3.5 million. If we buy a lot, they will definitely send it back. After Wang Panzi finished speaking, Jiang Chen was puzzled. How could this guy be so familiar with the price of sheep? Wang Panzi, how do you know the price of lambs? After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Wang Panzi laughed and said, well, I plan to raise a few secretly. Fuck. Jiang Chen really wanted to beat Wang Panzi up. Jiang Chen was very kind to him. Why did he think about destroying his grassland every day? Fatty Wang saw that his secret was exposed, so he hurriedly said, ahem, Brother Chen, it's not that I want to eat sheep. I bought sheep mainly for Sister Anna. Look at how beautiful Sister Anna is. She accompanies you in the desert every day. Black goats have the effect of prolonging life and beautifying the face. Moreover, Brother Chen, let me tell you, black goats can also nourish yin and strengthen yang and replenish the body. If it eats alone again, the effect. Fatty Wang felt his blood boiling after he finished speaking. Now he couldn't help but catch a black goat and eat it. Okay, don't talk so much. By the way, order some other sheep for me, bull goats, sheep, etc. Order me tens of thousands of them. Although black goats have the effect of nourishing the face and nourishing yin and replenishing yang, Jiang Chen is also planning to build a company that produces wool sweaters, so sheep and the like are naturally indispensable. Okay, then let's get 10,000 of them. By the way, Brother Chen, what kind of cows do you want? Speaking of cows, Jiang Chen didn't know much, but he did some research in advance. The better cows now include the yellow cattle from Kixi and the imported Simmental cattle. The yellow cattle are beef cattle, and the Simmental cattle can be used as both dairy cows and beef cattle, so both are needed. In addition, Jiang Chen plans to build a milk base, so there will definitely be a lot of Dutch dairy cows. Bring 10,000 Kixi yellow cattle and 10,000 Simmental cattle. In addition, we need more dairy cows, 50,000 Dutch dairy cows. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang heard it and hurriedly shook his head and said, "No, no, Brother Chen, how can we feed so many cattle and sheep with that little grass? If you count the grass factory in our military camp, it will be enough to raise sheep at most. So, with so many cows, we should just buy it. If I ask you to, don't talk so much nonsense. I tell you, I have built a supernatural ranch. It's just to the northeast of the military camp. Just buy the cows. I will definitely not let you work for nothing. I will hand over the position of director of this farm to you in the future." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang was stunned when he heard that Jiang Chen had built another super ranch. He really wanted to know how Jiang Chen did it, but Jiang Chen had already told him clearly that he could not ask about the desert, otherwise he would be cursed by the desert god. So he could only obey orders. Only by obeying orders would the desert god give them more miracles. Okay. But, Brother Chen, I'm worried about letting others raise our cattle. Can I let the families of our Sahara come and raise them? Fatty Wang had long wanted to bring the families of the Sahara to the desert. You know, their families are far away from home, and these men are still a little worried. Besides, the desert is developing so well now, and they also want to reunite with their families in the desert. Okay, you can arrange this yourself, but can the families of the Sahara raise cattle? Are there enough people? I need a lot of herders here. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang nodded hurriedly and said, "Brother Chen, don't worry. Many of the children of our Sahara are farmers. Their families will definitely raise cattle and sheep, and they are very responsible. In addition, our Sahara now has nearly 10,000 people. If the families come, there will be at least 30,000 to 40,000 people. It is definitely not a problem for 30,000 to 40,000 people to raise tens of thousands of cattle. The question is, does Brother Chen have so much money to pay the salaries?" Chapter 145. We are behind you. When Wang Panzi mentioned the money for raising cattle and sheep, Jiang Chen smiled. After all, he still had several billion in his pocket, right? The sheep cost about 350 yuan each, and there were 40,000 sheep of 4 kinds, which was only 14 million yuan in total. As for the cattle, a Kixi calf cost about 1,600 yuan, so 10,000 of them would be 16 million yuan. Add 10,000 simmental cows, which were all purpose for both meat and milk, and it would only add another 16 million yuan. Of course, the black and white dairy cows were a little more expensive, at 2,450 yuan each, and 50,000 dairy cows would only be 125 million yuan. All these cattle and sheep added up to only 171 million yuan, and if we invested 500 million yuan in some equipment for feeding cattle and sheep and cattle pens, it would only be 617 million yuan in total. You should know that Jiang Chen still had 5.66 billion yuan in his hands at the moment. Of course, people also need money. The families of the Sahara have come. They raise cattle. They have to be paid at least 5,000 yuan a month. For 40,000 people, that's only 2 billion a month. Ahem, it seems quite a lot. However, once the cattle are raised, the money will definitely come. Of course, before the cattle are raised, Jiang Chen has to find a way to solve the money problem. Don't worry about the money. Just do it. I will pay you a month's salary first. You can ask the families of the Sahara to come over. In addition, the cattle and sheep will be ordered for me as soon as possible. I need to raise all the cattle and sheep for me before the end of the year. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Fatty Wang nodded and hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, Jiang Chen really had a headache. That's right, he had to pay Fatty Wang 2.617 billion. Now he only had 3.043 billion left in his pocket. He also had to pay the salaries of the employees of the Sahara and the Bermuda Scenic Area with this money. It seemed that this money was not enough. It seems that I have to find a way to make money quickly. By the way, since the roses are blooming again, I'd better sell some roses for the time being. Also, tourism must be promoted quickly. I still have the task of 500 tourists. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen drove towards Mojiang County. He had to assign tasks to the Roses Appointment online store in Mojiang, which had returned from vacation. Then he needed to contact a large travel agency immediately. He had to take advantage of the half-month period when the wind and sand blew from the center of Sahara to Mojiang to sell more roses, and then complete the task of 500 tourists. Jiang Chen rushed to Mojiang County. Guo Keming of Mojiang County had already formed a road repair team, and the road repair team had begun to repair the damaged roads in the development zone. Seeing the busy scene of the road repair team, Jiang Chen couldn't help but point. It must be said that County Magistrate Guo was really a man of swift and decisive action. The G-Class drove past the construction site, where a quarrel was heard. Hearing the quarrel, Jiang Chen stopped the car. As soon as the car stopped, Jiang Chen found a familiar figure in the crowd. Yes, it was none other than Guo Keming, who was wearing a safety helmet and personally supervising the work. Seeing Guo Keming under the scorching sun, Jiang Chen was inexplicably moved. It was truly a blessing for the people of Mojiang to have a leader who could go to the front line in such a hot day. We must work overtime. The development zone roads must be repaired within a month. Also, those areas that are severely damaged must be demolished and rebuilt. County Magistrate, it can't be completed within a month. Why can't it be completed? Not enough people. Not enough people. All the people in Mojiang have gone to other places, so the only ones left are the elderly, the weak, the sick and the disabled. Also, our county's cement factory was closed down by ZHU Chang, and the workers all ran away to Yi City. Now there is no cement. A tall and thin contractor kept explaining with a blueprint in his hand. As soon as he said that there were not enough people, many shabby bicycles drove up to the side of the road. Dozens of people got off the bicycles. Although their clothes were a little shabby, they were very clean. After getting off the bicycles, they ran to the construction site without saying a word, picked up a shovel, and shoveled the broken soil. Teacher Wang, why are you here? Guo Keming was a little surprised. Teacher Wang shoveled up a piece of broken cement and said, we heard that County Magistrate Guo wanted to build a development zone, so we knew that we must be short of people, so we all came. County Magistrate Guo, don't blame us for not having young people in Mojiang. We are a bunch of old bones, and can still do it. After Teacher Wang finished speaking, he looked at his thin body moving stones one by one, and Guo Keming turned his head, and wiped his tears. More and more people came from Mojiang County in the distance, including men, women, young and old. A team of more than 10,000 people carrying shovels and dustpans formed a mighty desert army. After they ran over, they smashed the gravel on the road in the development zone without saying a word. Guo Keming looked at the scene of the young and old in Mojiang helping each other to throw the gravel into the dustpan, and he could no longer hold back his emotions. Blind dates. County Magistrate Guo, we are here. Don't be afraid, County Magistrate Guo. When have we Mojiang people ever admitted defeat? I, an old man, have never been afraid of the desert. Today, with County Magistrate Guo leading us, we will fight the desert to the end even if we die. That's right, County Magistrate Guo, don't cry. We are all volunteers. You can stay up day and night to keep us in Mojiang. So how can we be cowards? For some reason, County Magistrate Guo had already burst into tears, and Jiang Chen's eyes were also wet. Who could resist the touching feeling of such unity between the military and the people? County Magistrate Guo, we are here. We are here too. We in Mojiang will never admit defeat. Mojiang will never admit defeat. Man can conquer nature. Mojiang will win. Behind the common people, those old timers in officialdom who used to laugh at Guo Keming every day also rolled up their sleeves and joined the army paving the road. Not only that, Jiang Chen actually saw Brother Long in the crowd. This devil took off his clothes and carried a shoulder pole, which was piled with stones. The heavy stones bent the pole, and sweat flowed down his shoulders with a blue dragon tattoo all over the ground. It's all because of my good blind date. I, Guo Keming, have nothing to repay you for. Today, Guo Keming looked at the people who came to the city. He wiped his tears and knelt on the ground with a plop. A man's knees are made of gold. He kneels to heaven and earth above, and to his parents below. But today, County Magistrate Guo, get up quickly. It's you who saved Mojiang. From now on, we in Mojiang will listen to you. That's right. We heard that County Magistrate Guo brought in sponsors and saved Mojiang. We closed our shops to work. County Magistrate GUO, I have contacted the merchants and everyone has come to donate. Don't worry about the road construction in the future. We Mojiang people unite and we don't believe that we can't conquer the fucking death desert. That's right. What is there to be afraid of in the desert? When the sandstorm comes, I'll be the first to stand at the wind outlet to block it. I won't let it enter Mojiang until it blows me to death. After a group of people finished shouting, an old woman helped GUO coming up. She stretched out her wrinkled hands to wipe the tears from GUO Kemming's face and said, "You are a good leader. We the people have seen it. Don't be afraid of anything you do. You have the skills of millions of Mojiang people, right? Well, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid." GUO Kemming gritted his teeth firmly after saying this. With so many people supporting him, even if he died in the desert, his life would be worth it. County Magistrate GUO, there are enough people. But we don't have enough cement. The contractor was also very moved. Although he was not from Mojiang, he really admired the spirit of the people of Mojiang. Chapter 146, Suffering a Loss is a Blessing. In the crowd, the contractor said there was no cement. An old man came over and shouted, "What's there to worry about if there is no cement? We can go to Yi City to get cement. When this road was built 10 years ago, all the cement was carried by us Mojiang people from Yi City. We could carry it then, and we can still carry it 10 years later." After the old man finished speaking, a group of people shouted, "That's right. If there is no cement, we will go to Yi City to get it." Well, we can't guarantee the construction period if we carry cement back and forth. The contractor looked embarrassed. Indeed, GUO Kemming promised Jiang Chen to upgrade the road in the old development zone within a month, so that it would be convenient for Yi City to build a highway from the old development zone to the bonded area at the same time. But, leave the cement to me. Jiang Chen walked out of the crowd. Yes, it was time for him to make some contributions. "You sell cement?" The contractor couldn't help but doubt the young man in front of him. "I built the road in the desert, so it's not too much for me to sell some cement. You guys smash all the roads today. I want all the roads in Mojiang Development Zone to be rebuilt, and I'll pay for the cement." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, GUO Kemming hurriedly shook his head and said, No, we've sold our land to you at a super high price. We can't let you. I like to suffer losses, and it's a blessing to suffer losses here with the common people. County Magistrate GUO, don't worry about it. You should quickly take people to lay power and network routes to the development zone, and also let the young people who went out to work in Mojiang come back. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, GUO Kemming saw that Jiang Chen was so determined, he couldn't help but nodded and said, "Thank you very much, Boss Jiang. I will take people to set up circuits and build the network right away. By the way, Boss Jiang, I have good news to tell you. Beijing has just approved several transportation lines from Fangjin Airport to megacities. In the future, Boss Jiang's goods will not only be able to reach the provincial capitals, but also those non-provincial capitals can be quickly reached." After GUO Kemming finished speaking, Jiang Chen became excited. "That's great. I just need this. With the airport, all the Sahara shops I bought can be delivered in one day." Jiang Chen almost jumped up with joy after he finished speaking. After the two of them talked about the policies given by Beijing next to the development zone, Jiang Chen left the development zone and headed towards Mojiang County. Now Jiang Chen has one more thing to do. Not only does he have to deal with the second picking of roses, he also has to build a desert cement plant. However, before building the cement plant, he should first deal with the rose issue. Jiang Chen drove a Mercedes-Benz to the Roses appointment online store in the south of the city. After entering the city, Jiang Chen realized what it meant to have a desert street. The people of the entire city went to build the Mojiang Development Zone. There was not even a single person in the entire city. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh that it would be strange if such a place couldn't develop. In the Rose Date online store, all the college students who were on vacation have returned. At this moment, they are sitting in the spacious and bright office, flipping through books. These books were bought by Guan from Xinhua Bookstore. In his words, the Rose Date online store is not like other online stores. Everyone here must constantly improve themselves through learning. After all, they will have higher positions in the future. Hey, I've been working for 2 days, and there's nothing to sell. I really miss the time when roses were popular. Although I'm busy, I feel so fulfilled. A girl put down the book in her hand and couldn't help talking to everyone. There are nearly 600 employees in the entire Rose Date online store. For a while, the employees in the huge office area put down their books and discussed. That's right. We really want to find a job. Otherwise, we feel sorry for Jiang Chen for getting paid so much every month. Well, what can we do? It's not just us who don't have work. Many people working at gas stations in the desert of the Transportation Administration Company don't have jobs. By the way, I heard today that a group of medical school graduates will be here soon, and they will definitely have no work when they come. Okay, stop complaining. We have been busy for a while after all. The dance troupe of the beautiful girls Zukin upstairs hasn't been on stage once, but they don't complain. But they are working hard to study new dances. I secretly went to see them last time. They danced really well. After the girls finished speaking, Jiang Chen walked into the Rose Rendezvous online store. After Jiang Chen came in, a group of college students instantly quieted down. The girl closest to the door saw Jiang Chen coming and shouted, "Jiang Chen is here. He is as handsome as he is in the live broadcast." As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly seemed to realize something and lowered her head and said embarrassedly, "I'm sorry, Jiang." "Hello, Boss Jiang." Jiang Chen looked back at the girl. She was pretty, but she looked a little unfamiliar. She might be a college student recruited by the manager from Urumqi. No problem. "Where is Manager Guan?" Jiang Chen finished speaking. A female manager came running out of the store manager's office. She was in her 30s, wearing professional clothes and short hair. She looked very capable. She ran to Jiang Chen and said, "Boss Jiang, Manager Guan is out. Do you have anything to do?" "Oh, nothing. Where did he go?" Jiang Chen finished speaking. The female manager saw Jiang Chen looking for Manager Guan. She knew that something must be wrong, so she looked at Jiang Chen and said, "Boss Jiang, just tell me if you have anything to do. Manager Guan has handed over the management of the Roses Date online store to me. He has already driven to Shangjing to check on the construction of the Shangjing branch of Sahara shop. After visiting the Shangjing Sahara shop, he will have to tour the whole country, so he may not be able to come back for nearly a month." After the female supervisor finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. Since she was a leader appointed by the supervisor, her ability must not be bad, so Jiang Chen looked at the female supervisor and said, "Okay, then I'll tell you directly, the second batch of roses in the desert will be picked soon. You hurry up and prepare, and the sale will start on time at 8 o'clock the day after tomorrow morning." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a group of people instantly became excited. That's right, they can finally continue to sell roses. They are almost going crazy from being idle. If they continue to be idle, their year-end bonuses will be gone. "Okay, I will complete the task." After the female supervisor finished speaking, Jiang Chen nodded. There was nothing else to tell her, so Jiang Chen looked at the time. It was still early, so he decided to fly to Urumqi once. This time he wanted to discuss a cooperative travel agency. After all, the apricot blossoms were in full bloom, and the apricot blossom tourism season could not be missed at this moment. "Okay, then I'll be leaving first." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the female supervisor hurried out to see Jiang Chen off. As soon as Jiang Chen left the store, the sisters from the online store started shouting, get busy, ZIOLIU, go contact the same day courier, Zio Song, call Taobi.com to see if they can give you another recommendation. Also, the new customer service staff should hurry up and learn. The team leaders of each group in the online store gave orders in an orderly manner, and hundreds of people became busy in an instant. Today, the Rose Rendezvous online store is not only responsible for online sales, they are also responsible for supervising packaging and transportation. So as soon as Jiang Chen left, more than a dozen transport trucks received orders and drove to the gas station to prepare for battle. Chapter 147, I Can Be Insulted. Jiang Chen drove straight to Fangjin Airport after leaving Mojiang. After arriving at Fangjin Airport, he took a plane at 1 AM and flew directly to Urumqi. After arriving in Urumqi, Jiang Chen went straight to China Travel Group without saying anything. China Travel Group is the largest tourism group in China. They have tens of thousands of travel agencies across the country and organize more than 100 million passengers every year. Therefore, Jiang Chen wanted to find them directly for cooperation. The new provincial office of China Travel Group is located in the Xintang building on the financial street of Urumqi. Jiang Chen rushed to the door of the building. As soon as he stopped the car, he saw two familiar figures. He thought he was dazzled, but after a closer look, his eyes were not dazzled. Mr. ZHU, this time your family can invest in our Teng County Desert Film and Television Tourism Base, which is simply our blessing. It is indeed your blessing. Originally, our ZHU family did not want to invest in your small project. After all, Teng County has inconvenient transportation and the desert is not spectacular enough. However, under my insistence, our family chose your Teng County. After ZHU Chan finished speaking, an accompanying staff member beside him nodded and bowed hurriedly and said, "That's right, that's right. This time thanks to Boss ZHU, we will definitely not forget your contribution after our scenic spot is built. Okay, everything else is easy to say. My friends from the cinema are here today. Have you arranged some interesting things for us tonight?" It's arranged. It's arranged. Don't worry, you came to our new province. How could we not arrange it well? To be honest, I arranged a few blonde foreigners tonight. The bosses must be well. Okay, you are very considerate. I like to cooperate with people like you. After ZHU Chan finished speaking, he patted the guy on the shoulder. As the guy walked, he occasionally looked at another rich young man. This rich young man was none other than Meng Xiao, the eldest son of the Meng Group. Mr. Meng, are you sure you can get in touch with the China Travel Group? Our scenic spot has started construction now, and the first batch of attractions will be opened next month. If the tourists can't keep up, our initial investment of more than 10 billion will probably be difficult too. What? Do you look down on me, Meng Hui? Let me tell you, the director of the new province office of China Travel Group is a good friend of my father. This time, I can just give a greeting, but you still have to drag the distinguished guests from Shangjing to do something. If it weren't for the fact that you are Kyan County's brother-in-law, I would have beaten you up long ago. After Meng Xiao finished speaking, Jiang Chen remembered something. That's right, when he was at New South University, this guy did mention that he wanted to invest in a tourism base in the desert. Unexpectedly, he even brought in the ZHU family from Shangjing and the Ningen Film Group to participate. No, I believe in Meng Xiao. I believe in Meng Xiao, who in our new province doesn't give face to Meng Xiao. As they talked, several people walked into the Xintang building. The Xintang building is the landmark financial building of Xin province. It gathers the office areas of most of the listed companies in Xin province. When several people took the elevator and went directly to the Huolv Group on the 48th floor, Jiang Chen also followed them to the Xin province office of Huolv Group. The 48th floor, the whole building here is the office of Huolv Group. After several people went in, there were not many people in the office area, which was a little deserted. Hello, are you here to handle? Where is your general manager's office? The security guard didn't finish his words. The lackeys behind the three young masters hurriedly pointed at the security guard and asked. Speaking of the general manager, the security guard politely asked, "Excuse me, do you have an appointment?" "Appointment? You paralyzed? Do you know who we are? Hurry up and let your manager come out." After the lackey finished speaking, Meng Xiao hurriedly stopped him and said, "Can you speak more quietly? Security guard, where is your manager's office? We don't need an appointment. We have a scenic spot that we want to cooperate with Huolv Group. You can just say that it is invested by the ZHU family of Shangjing." Mr. Meng was still polite. After all, he knew his own strengths and weaknesses. Yes, their Meng Group was very strong in Xinan and other places, but where was this place? This was the Huolv Group in Urumqi. The market value of the Huolv Group was nearly 100 billion yuan, which was not comparable to their small company worth tens of billions. When the security guard heard that it was the ZHU family in Shangjing, he hurried in to report and walked into the company. Not long after, the security guard came out and said with a smile, "The manager asked you to go in. Go inside." To the manager's office at the innermost. Remember, it's at the innermost. Let's go. Let's go. Who dares not give Mr. ZHU's face? After the lackey finished speaking, he followed a few people into the China travel group. After a few people went in, Jiang Chen couldn't help shaking his head. He really didn't check the almanac before going out today. He actually met these bastards. He was really unlucky. But who cares? He came here to discuss cooperation anyway, so everyone can just talk about their own things. Jiang Chen walked to the door of the China travel group. After showing the relevant documents to the security guard, he entered the service hall. The service hall of the China travel group can handle matters related to scenic spot cooperation. Jiang Chen saw that there was no one in front of the scenic spot cooperation window, and now there was no need to queue, so he hurried over. Hello, I built a desert scenic spot in Mojiang, and I would like to cooperate with your travel agency. May I ask what I need? Hey, isn't this Jiang Chen? Haha, I thought I saw the wrong person. Jiang Chen had just sat down in front of the window when he heard a familiar voice behind him. He turned around and saw that it was none other than ZHU Chang. At this moment, ZHU Chang had just come out of the general manager's office. He heard that there were many beauties in the service hall, and he wanted to take a look and take one away at night. He didn't see any beauties, but he saw Jiang Chen sitting on the chair at a glance. Hello, my scenic spot. Hey, little beauty, his scenic spot has been separated. One desert scenic spot is enough in the new province. I have just told your manager that except for us, China Travel Group will not cooperate with any desert scenic spots. By the way, I forgot, Jiang Chen, you are also running a scenic spot in the desert. Haha, don't say that I'm bullying you. Let's disperse quickly, while the money invested is small. If you stop now, you can still have some stinky money to support that bitch Li Yiren. After ZHU Chang finished speaking, a smug sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. In order to deal with Jiang Chen this time, he has put in a lot of effort. He knew that Jiang Chen was going to develop tourism in the desert, so he took the initiative to volunteer to represent the ZHU family to supervise the construction of the 10-county desert film and television tourism base. He said he was here to supervise, but in fact he was here to deal with Jiang Chen. Say it to me again. Jiang Chen clenched his fists. If you dare to talk about his dream lover Li Yiren, others will spoil you, but I, Jiang Chen, won't. Haha, I'll say it again. What can you do to me? Are you going to hit me? Haha, Li Yiren is a bitch. Now everyone in Kyoto knows that she is a bitch. Fortunately, I didn't want this bitch, otherwise I would have been dirty. Before ZHU Chan finished speaking, Jiang Chen had already raised his hand to slap him. That's right, if you dare to insult me, it's fine. If you dare to insult my goddess, don't blame me for slapping you. Bang. Jiang Chen stood up and slapped ZHU Chan in the face. After the slap, ZHU Chan fell to the ground. Chapter 148, just a 1 or 2 year old baby. At the Zinl Group's new provincial office, Jiang Chen slapped ZHU Chang, the young master of Shangjing, and made him crawl on the ground. ZHU Chang was lying on the ground, covering his face with one hand, and looking at Jiang Chen in disbelief. When did this kid become so bold? Where is this place? This is Zinl Group. How dare you hit their most precious guest in Zinl Group? Damn it, you dare to hit me. Security. Security. ZHU Chan kept shouting while lying on the ground. Jiang Chen rode on ZHU Chan without saying a word and started beating him left and right. The slaps hit ZHU Chang's face, and soon ZHU Chang's face was swollen. Several security guards ran over from a distance. When the security guard saw someone fighting, he took out his baton and shouted, "Stop, stop it." Several security guards came up and tried to subdue Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen knocked several security guards to the ground without saying a word. What's going on? What's going on? Hearing the noise outside, a man came out of the general manager's office. He was in his 40s, wearing a black suit, a white shirt, and a dark patterned tie. He didn't have much hair, and a few strands of long hair covered his bald head. After the general manager finished shouting angrily, he saw ZHU Chang lying on the ground and his heart skipped a beat. Mr. ZHU, Mr. ZHU, are you okay? Who beat you? Who beat my customer in my Zinl Group? You don't want to live anymore, do you? After the general manager finished scolding, Mr. ZHU got up from the ground. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and shouted, "It's him, that's the man. Damn Jiang Chen, you offended me. I don't see how you can leave Xin province alive." After Mr. ZHU finished speaking, the general manager saw that it was a young man who beat Jiang Chen, and the security guards around him were all knocked down. He was a little scared. Needless to say, he knew that Jiang Chen must be a martial artist, but how could he be timid in front of the ZHU family in Beijing? What right do you have to hit someone? Do you know whose base this is? Believe it or not, I can kill you with just one finger. After the general manager finished speaking, Jiang Chen looked at him and said, "Is it okay for me to hit him? Because he is a bad mouth. I'm here to do business, and he is disturbing me here. Not to mention hitting him, it would not be too much to strangle him to death." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, the manager pointed at Jiang Chen and scolded him, "You dare to touch him? Do you know how important he is to our China travel group? Damn. From now on, get out of here. We don't welcome you in our China travel group." The manager didn't dare to say it too harshly. After all, the person who dared to hit ZHU Shao must have an extraordinary identity. He was just a small office manager, and he couldn't afford to offend such a family figure. Just as the manager was driving Jiang Chen away, Meng Shao in the distance also recognized Jiang Chen. Yes, he had a lot of grudges with Jiang Chen, so he was furious when he saw Jiang Chen. This time Jiang Chen actually dared to offend ZHU Chan. The revenge for stealing his goddess last time could finally be avenged by ZHU Chan. "Manager, don't let him go. Young Master ZHU was sent to leave your group. If you dare to let him go, you will see whether the ZHU family in Shangjing will let you go." After Meng Shao finished speaking, a layer of sweat broke out on the manager's face. Yes, he was most afraid of being involved in this kind of fight between family members. In this fight, there is no winning or losing at all. No matter who wins or loses, he will be the unlucky one in the end. Young Master ZHU, who is this person? The manager did not dare to act casually, even though the security guards behind him had stood up again and took out electric buttons, but no one dared to go up without the manager's order. "This guy's nobody, he's just a liar. He swindled 2 billion from my bank, got a black card, and is swindling people everywhere. He even swindled my girlfriend away. Haha, luckily I didn't marry that bitch, she's so dirty and disgusting." After ZHU Chan finished speaking, Meng Shao slammed the table and shouted, "Damn, I thought he was somebody. Shit, a liar actually swindled my goddess away." After Meng Shao finished speaking, he wanted to cut Jiang Chen into pieces immediately. Jiang Chen couldn't help laughing when he looked at the two of them. "These two idiots, haha. ZHU Chan, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you now. If you want to find something to do, I'll accompany you another day." Jiang Chen looked at the big clock on the wall. He didn't have much time left. He had to complete the mission this afternoon and then fly back to Mojiang to produce desert cement. So, he decided to spare these troublemakers and get his business done first. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen looked at the manager who was bowing and asked, "You are the general manager here, right? I happen to have a scenic spot that I want to cooperate with you. I don't know how much investment his scenic spot has, but my scenic spot is at least 1,000 times his." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, ZHU Chan laughed loudly. His swollen face twisted instantly when he laughed. "Ouch, it hurts. You deserve it." Jiang Chen felt indescribably happy after he finished speaking. This is the fate of a bad mouth. Blow. You can blow as much as you want. Jiang Chen, I tell you, don't try to deceive us this time. Don't I know your little foundation? Don't you make money by selling roses? Haha, don't think I don't know. You came to China Travel Group to cooperate just to sell roses before the June sandstorm comes, right? Haha, if you can't sell all the roses before June, you can wait to go bankrupt. ZHU Chan was right. In mid-May, sandstorms will form from the center of the Sahara Desert. In June, he will be able to resist the Mo River. However, it is hard to say whether he can drown his sea of roses. My roses will be sold out in a few days, you don't have to worry about it. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, he walked straight towards the manager. He wanted to watch his video with the manager. As long as the manager could change his mind and they could cooperate, his desert scenic spot would be able to welcome the first batch of tourists in less than 5 days. By then, when the windy and sandy month begins, he will be able to complete the task of attracting 500 tourists assigned to him by the system, and then he will be able to unlock them all super seeds. Haha, you want to sell it all? Dream on. I'm telling you, I've already contacted France. After they found out that you messed up their market, they decided to join forces with me. Just wait and see how I'll destroy you. After Zhu Chan finished speaking, he saw Jiang Chen ignored him, so he followed him and said, also, I know you built a tourist base in the desert, but no matter how much money you invest in your scenic spot, it's useless. Our Zhu family has invested 10 billion to build a desert film and television tourist base. When the time comes, we will completely squeeze out your scenic spot. I want to see if Li Yiren will go with you, a pauper, when you have nothing. After Zhu Chan finished speaking, Jiang Chen simply didn't want to pay attention to him. Haha, a scenic spot worth tens of billions is nothing. Those second generation rich people who make hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars every day are just 1 or 2 year old babies in front of Jiang Chen. Manager, this is what I built. Take it away. Our China Travel Group will not cooperate with you. Our China Travel Group cooperates with companies worth hundreds of billions. How dare you, a young boy, talk to me about cooperation. Also, you have offended the people of the Zhu family in Shangjing today. Don't say that I won't let you live. Kneel down now and kowtow to Mr. Zhu and admit your mistake, and I will let you go. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. After the manager finished speaking, he waved his hand and several security guards came up and closed the door. That's right. Since Jiang Chen had offended the people of the Zhu family in Shangjing, even a god would have no chance of walking out of the Xinjiang building. Chapter 149, Stronger than an electric baton. Jiang Chen looked at a group of people closing the door. He sighed. He didn't know what the Zhu family in Shangjing was like. However, they wanted to kill people in broad daylight. Haha, do you think the law can't punish you? Really? Haha, you are such a pig. You want to fight against the rich people in a $1 trillion scenic spot for a $10 billion scenic spot. Forget it. I really praised you when I said you were a stupid pig. Jiang Chen couldn't help shaking his head after he finished speaking. In this day and age, people with poor vision can really kill a company. Don't talk nonsense with him. I'm going to destroy his bottom today. Damn it, you dare to snatch my young master Meng's woman. I thought you were from a prominent family. Damn it, you are so arrogant, even if you are not from a prominent family. Manager Bei, let's get him together. After Meng Xiao finished speaking, he picked up a stool and smashed it towards Jiang Chen. As soon as Meng Xiao threw the stool, Jiang Chen kicked the stool away with a bang. At the moment, when Meng Xiao paused, Jiang Chen kicked him upside down and flew out. Plop. Meng Xiao hit the glass coffee table hard, and the coffee table instantly cracked into a spider web. When several people saw Meng Xiao being kicked away, Manager Bei pointed at the security guard and shouted, "What are you still standing there for? Come on. Beat him to death." He originally wanted to teach Jiang Chen a lesson, to vent the anger of the Zhu family. After all, he was also running a business. He didn't expect this guy to have some tricks. If he didn't severely cripple one of his arms and legs, what would he do if he retaliated against him in the future? Yes, beat him to death. After Manager Bei finished speaking, several security guards took out electric batons. How powerful can you beat the security guards' electric batons? However, just as several security guards were about to shock Jiang Chen, there was a sudden knock on the door outside, and then a large group of cameras blocked the door. In front of the cameras, an old man in his 50s wearing a Zongshan suit appeared at the door of China Travel Group. A group of people came outside the door, and several security guards immediately put down their electric batons. Manager Bei saw the camera at the door, and he cursed inwardly. Yes, the relevant personnel had told them today that Governor Li would visit some foreign companies stationed in Xin province at Xinjiang building, and his whole group was among them. Open the door, open the door. Governor Li is here to visit you. The glass was slapped, and Manager Bei hurriedly pointed at Jiang Chen and shouted, "I'll let you go first. Don't talk nonsense to me later. Otherwise don't blame me for being rude to you." After Manager Bay finished speaking, he pointed at several security guards and shouted, "What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and clean up here, and you guys, hurry up and sweep the broken coffee table aside." Several security guards hurriedly cleaned up the chaotic fight scene, and several sweepers hurriedly swept a few times and covered the broken coffee table with a cloth. After several people were busy, Manager Bay straightened his clothes and walked towards the door. Arriving at the door of the Hualu Group office was almost knocked down. After Manager Bay asked the security guard to open the door, the person in charge of the Xinjiang building at the door pointed at Manager Bay and started scolding him. "Old Bay, what are you doing? Why are you locking the door during working hours? Don't you know that the governor is coming to inspect today?" Sorry, we just received a VIP, the ZHU family from Beijing. They said they had to keep it confidential, so. After Manager Bay finished speaking, when they heard that it was the ZHU family from Beijing who came, the expressions of several people eased a lot. The person in charge of the Xinjiang building hurriedly led Governor Li and said, "Governor, please come in. The Hualu Group is the largest travel agency in our country. They have more than 10,000 travel agencies across the country. Not only that, the Hualu Group has now gone abroad and opened many travel agencies in foreign countries." After the person in charge finished speaking, Governor Li couldn't help but nodded. Indeed, they really like such companies. "Hello, Governor Li. I'm Bai Xiang, the person in charge of the Xin Province Office of China Travel Group. Welcome to inspect and guide our work." Bai Xiang came to the side of Governor Li as he spoke. Governor Li looked at Bai Xiang and asked, "What are the main responsibilities of your office?" After Governor Li finished speaking, Bai Xiang hurriedly introduced, "We are now mainly responsible for the cooperation of our Xin province's scenic spots and the franchising of travel agencies. Now our China Travel Group has reached cooperation with nearly 100 scenic spots in our Xin province. Every year, there are millions of tourists who come to Xin province through our China Travel Group. Moreover, we have built 13 travel agencies in Xin province, and we receive nearly 100,000 people from Xin province who travel abroad every year." After Bai Xiang finished speaking, Governor Li could not help but nodded and said, very good, Xiao Jiang, look, this is the object of your study. You are going up and down the stairs. In the future, you must come to China Travel Group more often to learn from it." After Governor Li finished speaking, a man in his 30s beside him hurriedly nodded and said, "Yes, Governor Li is right. China Travel Group is the benchmark of our industry. In the future, I will definitely follow China Travel Group." After Xiao Jiang finished speaking, Bai Xiang saw that it was Xiao Jiang, and he couldn't help but laugh. This guy's really good at flattering. He followed the governor when he came to inspect. He is really shameless. Moreover, his shabby travel agency wants to be on par with him. It's simply funny. Governor Li, please don't make it difficult for General Manager Jiang. General Manager Jiang's travel agency has only opened more than 50 companies across the country. As far as I know, General Manager Jiang's travel agency is now operating at a loss because there are no tourists. After Bai Xiang finished speaking, Li Sheng looked at General Manager Jiang, and General Manager Jiang lowered his head. Yes, compared with China Travel Group, he is a country chicken, and China Travel Group is his unattainable phoenix. Really? Well, we have been losing money in the past few months. Several scenic spots and hotels that cooperated with us have been snatched away by China Travel Group, so. But don't worry, Governor Li, we are actively looking for new partners, and we have already established a relationship with the newly opened Desert Film and Television Tourism Base in Teng County. Even if we don't make money, we will strive for cooperation with the Teng County Desert Film and Television Tourism Base. Teng County Desert Tourism Base? Governor Li frowned. He had never heard of this project. Now the province is specially approving Jiang Chen's Mojiang Desert Tourism Base. Why is another desert tourism base approved? Yes, it is the Teng County Desert Film and Television Tourism Base. This base is invested by Dajiang Group, Ningbiang Group and Mengshi Group. The entire scenic area has invested more than 10 billion. In the future, it will become the largest film and television base and desert tourism base in the Northwest Desert. As long as I win this project, my desert travel agency will be able to come back to life. After President Jiang finished speaking, Bai Xiang smiled proudly. He looked at President Jiang with great ambition and said, "Oh, it's really a coincidence. To be honest, the one who just talked to me about cooperation is the newly opened desert film and television tourism base in Teng County. Just 2 minutes ago, I just signed an agreement with them. In the future, the scenic spot in Teng County will be exclusively responsible by our Huolv group. So, President Jiang, don't lie to Li Sheng. You'd better change your career as soon as possible." After Bai Xiang finished speaking, President Jiang looked incredulous. How could this be possible? They sent all their forces to talk to Teng County. How could this? Chapter 150, The Frivolity of Youth. Speaking of the Teng County Desert Film and Television Tourism Base signing a contract with the China Travel Group, President Jiang was panicked. "No, it's impossible. I gave them such good conditions, they can't agree to you." After President Jiang finished speaking, Zhu Chang strode towards him. "What are you thinking? You, an enterprise with assets of less than 10 billion, also want to cooperate with us? Are you crazy? By the way, President Jiang, you came at the right time. Don't you have any scenic spots to cooperate with? Come on, I will introduce you to a scenic spot. You two can form a weak alliance and see who is more miserable." Ha ha ha. After Zhu Chang finished speaking, he looked at Jiang Chen jokingly. Yes, he was very proud. "What's the use of you, Jiang Chen, being so powerful? See, our enemies all praise us scenic spots, so it won't take a minute to bully you, Mo Jiang." "Okay, then I would like to thank Mr. Zhu. President Jiang, I'm Jiang Chen, the person in charge of the Bermuda Desert Oasis scenic spot. Since you don't have any scenic spots to cooperate with, then I will help you." Jiang Chen wanted to keep a low profile, but you forced me to be high profile. There is really no way. Yes, sign with him. No one goes to his desert scenic spot anyway. You two can be together. The sooner you die, the sooner you can be reborn. Zhu Chang asked someone to bring him paper and pen while he was talking. He was very arrogant. He didn't care about anyone's feelings at all. After all, he was a member of the Zhu family in Shangjing. "Hey, this, Mr. Zhu. Mr. Zhu, can I talk to you?" "No, a travel agency like yours is not qualified to talk to us." "Jiang Chen, are you going to sign or not? I tell you, China Travel Group will never sign you. You want China Travel Group to take you to your shabby scenic spot? You're dreaming." After Zhu Chang finished speaking, Jiang Chen sneered. "I don't need anyone to take me. I'm the only one in this world who can take others." After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Bai Xiang became displeased. Yes, he had seen arrogant people before, but this was the first time he had seen such an arrogant young man like Jiang Chen. Bai Xiang pointed at Jiang Chen and shouted, "Governor Li, did you see that? How arrogant are the young people nowadays? Since he is so arrogant, let him lead General Manager Jiang. I want to see what he can do to bring Xinmei Travel Agency up." After Bai Xiang finished speaking, Governor Li looked at Jiang Chen. He had wanted to greet Jiang Chen for a long time. After all, Jiang Chen had surpassed the existence of humans in his eyes. He was simply a god. But Jiang Chen gave him a few glances, and Governor Li soon understood. It turned out that this guy was rejected by the China Travel Group and wanted to get back at him. "How about you make a bet?" Governor Li smiled knowingly. He knew that these people would definitely be beaten up if they offended Jiang Chen. Of course, it would be a good thing to give a warning to the ignorant young master of the Zhu family. This guy really deserved a lesson, and he also wanted to let him know not to think that he is invincible in the world. In Xin province, no matter how powerful you are, you have to abide by the law honestly. Let's make a bet. I'm just afraid that you don't dare. You are just a farmer who has been farming for generations, and you don't have much money in your pocket. After Zhu Chang finished speaking, Jiang Chen straightened his chest and said, "So what if I have been farming for generations? I'm not afraid of you as a farmer. However, if you want to bet, let's be practical. Whoever loses today will donate 100 million to build schools in rural areas. Do you dare?" After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Zhu Chang laughed. This guy really dared to gamble. However, Zhu Chang was not afraid. 100 million pocket money was just pocket money. He lost 700 to 800 million in Mojiang. Didn't Grandpa Zhu say anything when he returned? So Zhu Chang looked at Jiang Chen and said, okay, let's bet, and don't say I'm bullying you. If you lose, you donate 100 million, and if I lose, I'll donate 1 billion. After Zhu Chang finished speaking, Bai Xiang beside him saw this and hurriedly shouted, that's right, don't say we bully you. Since you dare to bet, let us join in too. Mr. Jiang, we are both in the tourism business. My partner is not afraid, and neither am I. If we lose, I will also donate 1 billion. What about you? After Bai Xiang finished speaking, Zhu Chang looked back at the two young masters beside him. The eldest son of Ningying Group also sneered and said, 1 billion, it's a piece of cake. I casually spend tens of billions. Xiao Meng, can you do it? If you can't, don't force yourself. After all, your family. Why not? My Meng Group is not short of money. Besides, he stole my goddess, and he is just trying to make things difficult for me. I'll kill him this time. Meng Hui straightened his chest as he spoke. Although he knew that asking their group to donate 1 billion was simply forcing them to go bankrupt, he had now climbed up the big tree of the Zhu family, so how could he lose? After several people finished speaking, they looked at Jiang Chen and President Jiang proudly. Seeing how proud they were, Jiang Chen really wanted to laugh in his heart. You are pretending to be cool with me. Okay, then I will pretend until you cry. Okay, 1 billion is 1 billion. Since you are so willing to contribute, how can I lose to you? If I lose today, I will directly donate 5 billion. If I win, I will also donate 5 billion. Wow, 5 billion regardless of winning or losing. It's really rich. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, a large number of media immediately pointed their cameras at Jiang Chen. That's right, if such explosive news is reported, their clicks will exceed 100 million. After Jiang Chen finished speaking, Zhu Chang saw that Jiang Chen had stolen his limelight again. He was almost furious. You know, Jiang Chen is a very smart guy. Isn't it clear why he wants to take out 5 billion? Didn't he just want to do a super free publicity in front of Governor Lee and the provincial media? If the media were all led by him, and they reported everywhere, once this positive image was established, his scenic spot would have people supporting it, even if it was rubbish. Absolutely amazing. Not only Zhu Chang, but even Bai Xiang couldn't help but curse inwardly. This kid was too mean. If he lost, he would just run away. Even if he cheated, he could only cheat the New America travel agency that was about to go bankrupt. But they were different. If they dared to bet with Jiang Chen like this, they would not be able to escape no matter whether they won or lost. What was even more hateful was that their group was a listed group. Although their group was large, 5 billion was not a small amount. Who would be willing to take it out at this moment? But if they didn't take it out, with so many media here, if this was reported out, wouldn't their China travel group collapse? Question mark? Okay, 5 billion is 5 billion. I'll make a bet with you. No matter whether I win or lose today, I will donate 50 to the Rural Education Foundation. Zhu Chang didn't want others to steal his limelight. Besides, the 10-county desert film and television tourism base was the last industry given to him by the Zhu family. If this industry collapsed again, he would never be able to enter the Zhu family. In order to promote his desert film and television tourism base, he went to Beijing to donate 5 billion. The Zhu family can afford it. Okay, generous, but what about your partners? Do they dare to come? Jiang Chen said as he looked at the people behind Zhu Chang. As far as he could see, all the media's cameras were aimed at the people behind Zhu Chang. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.